making their way into the mounting yard. Let's have a look at the market. First leg of the quaddie. Empress Rock is $2.30, holding favouritism out of
day. And
for the rampant tonight.
Look, he's trained on well. He's been in Sydney. I think he went on Tuesday.
They go. Empress Rock looked to jump okay over near the outside. Ravel snagged at the start. Way quickly is outdoor, and Twilighting going forward is notified, and just off them Total Attraction as they settle into stride. Our Miss Jones has gone back about third last on the rail. Towards the first turn, outdoor Twilighting, and now Empress Rock on their outside is pressing on to get up outside the lead. Empress Rock the leader and steadied up the tempo, led by a half. Twilighting a length and a half to outdoor. Total Attraction a neck fourth, and then Two Sugars Tourer. Our Miss Jones still awkwardly placed. Amethyst took off and Ravel last. 550 metres to go, and Empress Rock leading by about a neck. Twilighting running second, a length and a half outdoor, followed by Total Attraction. Taurus off and running three wide. Our Miss Jones has got off the fence as they came to the turn, but Empress Rock still in control, led by a length. Twilighting under pressure. Outdoor trying to follow the favourite through. Total Attraction runs on from Tora. Our Miss Jones. Empress Rock led by 2.5 from Total Attraction. Outdoor, Our Miss Jones boxing on, but it is all Empress Rock, the favourite, streaking away, and Empress Rock won it by 3 or 4 lengths to Total Attraction. Our Miss Jones got up for third, I'd say, from Ravel, who ran on well. Then outdoor to
class above them, Steve Arnold on Empress Rock. Did a bit of work early, wide, cross led, then steadied. Terrific ride from Steve, then accelerated away, wins and wins easily. First, Total Attraction 210, Our Miss Jones $2.
And leaders at Moonee Valley under lights, they do have an advantage on times. But look, you can't knock her. She raced to her. I'm anticipating she'll come to Sydney now, and Bart will find a race for her. But she's at the top of a tree. She's a talented filly.
Towards the big feature, of course, which is the Power Tracker Group 1 William Reid Stakes, which is coming up shortly. And Haylis is open up at $1.45 favourite. Before we talk Power Tracker William Reid Stakes, it's a weight for age race. Over 1,200 metres. It's won by the great sprinters in Australian racing. It's been won by Black Caviar. It's been won twice by Patchy Cat. It's been won by Miss Andretti. $1.40 on the tote, $1.45 to $1.50 on course. Buffering's at $8. And with thanks to Coolmore, the home of champions, let's get in the mounting yard and have a look at this big ball.
I'm checked, and that's a definite yes to that.
Good. Oh, fantastic. Well, great to see you in town, mate. Good luck. You've got 2 real live chances to try to knock off the champ. Good luck.
Thanks, guys. Pleasure.
There's Rob Heathcote, trainer of Buffering and Warham. And while we've been talking, Gator, they've stepped into Haylis. The price that was asking was value, or the
and Haylis was the first out. Foxwedge got away quickly, and so did Buffering, who drives through and goes to the lead. So Buffering now by a length to Foxwedge, and Haylis posied up nicely the outside. 2 lengths to beat at fourth, and then Lone Rock. Midsummer Music improving on the outside, and then came Rekindled Interest, and 2 lengths to Wirram. So Buffering led at the 800 metres turn, a length away. Haylis travelled beautifully, and a length and a half to Foxwedge third, and beat it as fourth. 1.5 further back, Midsummer Music, outside Lone Rock, and 3 Rekindled Interest and Wirram. Up the side, and Buffering just over a length in front. Haylis is second. And 2 lengths away is Foxwedge with Beat It next to the outside, and then Lone Rock and Midsummer Music, and 2 Rekindled Interest. A length and a half away is Wirram. Up to the turn, and Buffering is travelling okay, as well as Haylis on his outside. This is set up for a big finish, and they've kicked 3 lengths in front of Lone Rock, getting up on the inside of Foxwedge. Buffering narrowly. Haylis got him at the home turn. Haylis went on by. Foxwedge comes off his tail. Haylis in front. Foxwedge coming down the outside. Haylis to half in front. Foxwedge drives at him. Foxwedge grabbed him. The 3-year-old. Foxwedge beat Haylis by a half a length. Buffering third, Lone Rock 4. A break in the field defeated, in company with Rekindled Interest. And then came Midsummer Music, and Wirram tracked them last all of the way. He's had his day.
Well, hats off to John O'Shea and the team. They will be ecstatic. The 3-year-old Foxwedge upsets the hot pot Haylis. He just kept coming and coming. He looked in strife at the 500, but he responded to riding in Nash and never gave up on the 3-year-old. And he arrived and beat Haylis to look to have it shot to pieces on the turns.
We're just a little bit quieter than what he's been ridden in the past, and we got to see that acceleration.
Yeah, he's got a tremendous turn of footies. You know, he's a colt I just had such a big opinion of from day one when I rode him, and today's the first time since he ran second to Seapoy that he's really knuckled down like that, and he's a good colt. You know, he's got it there really confident a long way from home.
Yeah, oh, it's
Yeah, he's a damn good horse when you can do that.
Tell you what, it's hard to beat the day you've had. You won an Albury Cup this afternoon.
One of these.
He's very keen to go and catch up with his mates there. It plays 10:40 and 2:30. It was a boil over 8 defeats 1, 2 and
It's been a long time coming for Fox Wedge too, isn't it? You've always known that he's a Group 1 horse, but until you've got that on your CV and ticked off, it doesn't really matter. But you have to do it the hard way on Friday night.
Well, I think it's just a reflection of the quality of the sprinters around the straight at the moment. You got to run past the things like Seapoy and Hayless to win your Group 1s. It makes it very difficult. But, it's a credit to the horse that he's been able to achieve it. And, he's the world's his oyster now.
The best thing is, Johnny, that Nash Willow, ever vigorous style of Nash, arms, legs going in all sorts of directions, but
Look like the concepts.
I was going to call it a hybrid style. It was a bit of everything.
Vision now. Because he would have been an effective horse at 1,000 metres. So now we've got a real live chance to go again. All going well between now and then. He'll go.
Race on Friday night, Hayless buffering was buffering. He'll win one of these. Lone Rock was a bit better on Friday night.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the setback would have done to Hayless, but he was there to win the race. Foxwedge was too good for him. Maybe Hayless will improve off that run, but on the night, Foxwedge was too good.
He just to try that buffering, and he just to try. I don't think he went hard enough buffering. I think he got a.
Yeah. And, he did it on Friday night at the Valley. Their last night meeting of the season. Haylist sent out at $1.55.
Yeah, and disappointing, you'd have to say, but all honours with the winner there. Fox Wedge, his future is secure now as a stallion with a pedigree like that, a specimen like that, and good luck to his connections, the Bateman family. They speculated into our industry at the top of the tree, and now they're going to start reaping some rewards because he's going to be a very, very popular stallion, this fellow. Haylist, well documented. He had a setback with a burst abscess and missed a gallop on the Tuesday morning prior to the race. I don't know that we're going to use that as an excuse.
Pretty tough run in the Newmarket.
Yeah, and but so did Foxwedge, and Foxwedge made him 6 kilos worse here. Yeah. So look, all honours with the winner, I say. And too good. Buffering was his gallant self as usual.
Top and Van Gogh.
let's have a look.
Top and Van Gogh.
Let's have a look at the market for the Sporting Bet Sunline Stakes. It's a weight for age mares race over the 1,600 metres. High Bell, it's a $3.70 favourite. Well, Lady Lynette, superstar mare from Tassie.
Mine got the blows after listening to John Gunning. Yeah, might have teed off a bit. Interesting.
I'm one of the first to bounce out ahead of Booklet, So Pristine, Zabaya. Lady Lynette from a deeper barrier is pushing on, looking for the lead as they settle into stride. Seduced has gone back last. High Bell has now eased back. There was plenty of speed about, so she's gone back second or third last. Up towards the turn at the 1,200 metres, and Lady Lynette goes to the lead there. Little bit of trouble. So Pristine copped the backwash, and Raspberries might have got tightened up. So into the back, and it's Lady Lynette up further back as Booklet. Then came Raspberries well back on the inside, followed by Seduced, and 2 lengths away, So Pristine. Lady Lynette dictating at the 600 metres. Nick Zabaya and High Bell is going on 3 wide. Back behind them, 2 lengths away, Booklet starting to make ground around Raspberries and Spirit Song, Seduced, and back at the end of the field, So Pristine on the bend, and Lady Lynette with Zabaya. They've beaten off High Bell for the time being. She's a length and a half away under the whip, and they're followed by Raspberry starting to work home. Lady Lynette led by Nick Zabaya as they cornered. Spirit Song going for the rails. Lady Lynette brave to the end, led by Nick. Spirit Song driving up. Lady Lynette by a head. Lady Lynette from Spirit Song, and she bows out a winner. Lady Lynette beats Spirit Song. 4 lengths away are the Raspberries, also Pristine, who got home from Zabaya. Then came just behind.
Oh, the weights didn't quite work out in the feature. Here they do. Lady Lynette turns the tables on Spirit Song with a 4.5 kilo weight swing. Leads, does some work, but then stacks them up. Terrific ride. Spirit Song, who's had a terrific campaign, drives and drives on green and white colours, green blinkers, and bows out to win. A great call, Greg Miles. 19th win, 55 starts. And a Lady Lynn Bean. I'm tipping another one here. Scott Brunton with you now, Richard.
Oh, that's got to be an emotional win. Scotty, tell me it ain't so. You're not going to retire this girl.
No, that's it for her, mate. That was her last go tonight, so that was a terrific thrill. Well, it's her last go.
Great Spirit Song.
Well, it was tough on the Brintons who protested in the race last year and didn't get it. Won the race this year, protested against and lost it. This is the incident we're going to show you. The colours you're looking for now. Nash, he was adamant. He got into a spot he didn't deserve to be. You can argue that Guthrie, you can see him take him in there, and there was clearly there was interference. We ended up box seating third defence.
I think he was going to. I think Kieran McAvoy on Raspberries, who was so aggressive last time, they were walking, should have punched up. But that was, I think the winner. I think Nash would have been exactly where he was. It's not whether we know there was interference here. Michael's probably, I think he got suspended for it. But the point was, did it change the result of the race? I don't think in the hope in the world it changed the result of the race. He got to where he was. The other winner got to where he was. She was in the run. There was going to be no difference. And I've got no doubt in my mind. I think it was a very poor judgment.
Still can't knock him over. That's the rules of racing.
Yep.
You can't shift when you're not 2 lengths clear.
But we see that in every race.
That's right.
But it doesn't mean the stewards uphold a protest in every race.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Terry Bailey himself said it's been 5 or 6 years since he's
Test fired in, and a somewhat controversial one, alleged interference at the 1200 metre mark of the race, and it was upheld, right?
Yeah, it was a very controversial protest. I think 50-50 was the call on it, but I thought it was a no-brainer myself. I think it had to be upheld. It was blatant disregard of the rules. Guthrie come across, you'll see here, comes across on top of Spirit's Song, and Raspberries just gets put up the fence on the point of the turn here. The margin was ahead. It's costed, what do you say, a length.
It's cost her the position she wanted to be in, which is probably a lot closer to the lead.
Well, Rawilla never had a chance to make her work to get across. That's the thing. You're entitled to kick up and make them do a bit of work to get across. Yeah. It's been a bit of a nightmare race for Lady Lynette. She protested running second last year against the winner, and then it was dismissed. And this year she lost it on protest. I feel for the connections, but I honestly think, and I've had people yelling and arguing me saying you got it wrong, but I think the stewards got it right. I'm positive they got it right.
Well, 50 get Piero back at the 205. 4 from 2, but number 4 is the first sporting bet market mover of the
So Faustus about to move up. They're racing, and Red Excitement, the bolter, came out fast and took the early lead. Amarino jumped well. Piero came out of the stalls better today's up running third. And then Epilep followed by Shelford. Faustus getting back and Trophies inside it at the rear. Amarino strides up on the outside and takes over. And is the new leader now from Red Excitement, the favourite Piero third. 2 lengths to Shelford on the inside of Epilep. And then further back behind them, Trophies and Faustus getting in a little bit closer after sitting wide in the early part. On the swing up towards the 600. And Amarino led by a half on Red Excitement, 2 to Piero, third Epilep on the outside of Shelford. They race together about 4 off the lead. Faustus at the back of the field with Trophies. The 2-year-old Colts and Geldings come for home in the first of the day. And Amarino beat off Red Excitement, led by 2.5. Piero is now switched into the clear. Nash calling on him to come after the leader. Epilep joining in as well. And then Shelford, but Piero strode up at the 200 now. Tackle Amarino. Epilep's going with Piero. So Piero on the inside and Epilep. They settle down to fight it out. Epilep on the outside has got his head in front. Piero Ripley's on the inside. Fights back, comes again. And in a bobbing finish, I think Piero won it. Photo very tight, but it might be Piero from Epilep. Shelford got third. Then Amarino, followed by Trophies, Faustus, and last in Red Excitement.
A thrilling race. In the top of the stakes, the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings, Piero and Epilep. Epilep headed Piero on the inside. What a great job. See Piero with the blue blinkers just fighting back, and Mark Sheen might have called that correctly, that maybe Piero will just wait on the judge. But Richie, yeah, it is definitely Piero. Number 2, Nash Rawilla. Piero takes out the top.
Fell back, he started $2.05 on track. Nash Rawilla, I thought he was going to fold it on the turn, but when Epilep come and challenge
home Piero. Gaia said on day 1 of the 2-year-old season, there's your golden slipper winner, and if there's proof needed, that's it.
Well, he's a very tough horse, and really everything you look for in a 2-year-old. He just can coast. He can take a set as he did today, and then he can pick up the bit. And he was beaten twice in the straight, as you would have seen, and he just said, "Blast you, get out of my way."
And it looks exactly right. The Albury Cup, of course. I haven't seen him that animated, I don't think, for a long time with Fox Wedge in the William Reid Stakes. That was just super last night at Moonee Valley. There are the English interims. Piero.
Photo very.
The second wins beats Epilep. Nash said couldn't see the horse with the blinkers on, wait for it to get past it and said, I'll nail you. That's what happened there. Piero, unbeaten, tough win, son of Long Epilep. They're good. John had Shelford and Faustus. Will he be pleased with one and disappointed with the other? Is that how you look at it?
Yeah, obviously.
Jeez, game on the line, wasn't he? He was headed by that horse.
Well, I think that's why he's got blinkers on, because I don't think he saw the other horse coming. And when he saw him, in front of his blinkers, then I think that's when he really put the fight on.
Yeah, he's a nice horse. He's 3 from 3 now, and he's won real races. I'm not knocking him. I thought he did a good job, and he'll be better in a fast run slipper where he can hit the line. I'm not ruling out Epaulette either. This is Helmet's brother, half brother, but he's
Better
still
than
got. I reckon he's yet to peak. This Epaulette, he's holding good condition, and he's gonna. Whether he's good enough, I'm not sure. But I tell you one thing, he's going to be right on the day. There's no doubt about that. This is.
Welcome back to Rosehill Gardens. Really looking forward to the Jacobs Creek Riesling Stakes here. We see the Blue Diamond winner in Samaretti, the undefeated filly. She is going around here at pretty short odds, Richie. Well, it was $1.55. She's just got out now to $1.60.
Yeah, thanks, Caroline. Yeah, look, she dominates the market.
A mighty punch, doesn't she? That Blue Diamond win was absolutely dominant. Samar the Dam related to County Tyrone, a Sydney Cup winner. Mick Price, Craig Newitt combining again.
Bottom at $151. Jerry Walsh has said this is clear cut. The market mover number one, Samaretti. The
Diamond player about to walk along. And they're off. Well, Samaretti didn't come out of the stalls all that flash. The Broken Shore was the best out and led from Chow coming up quickly on the outside. They're headed Schnitzel and next followed by Diamond Player. Then Jesusa. Samaretti was settled down second last and about 2 to Maydung at the rear. As they sort out their order and Chow racing away from the inside led by 2. The Broken Shore second, Schnitzel and third. Then Diamond Player back on the fence in fourth spot and then came Jesusa. Samaretti still second last, about 6 or 7 off the lead and 2 to Maydung. As they run to the 600, and the leader is Chow from the Broken Shore. And they're in advance of Stitzelin, followed by Diamond Player. And here's Samaretti starting to take off. She's whipped around Jesusa, so she's third last coming to the turn, making a move, and Maydung last. Into the straight, Chow led from the Broken Shore. Samaretti and Stitzelin coming down the outside, but Stitzelin has moved out after Chow. Stitzelin is going with Samaretti. They come to the 200. It's Samaretti on the outside and Stitzelin fighting it out. Jesusa's made up some ground in the middle. Samaretti on the outside starts to assert her superiority. She races away the last little bit and she goes on to win it. Samaretti beat Jesusa. Maydung, I think, got third from Stitzelin and then Chow. Diamond Player at last in the Broken Shore.
Oh, she's pretty smart, isn't she? Craig Newitt knew exactly where he wanted her to be. She was just there stalking them on the turn, stalking the leaders, and this filly was full of running. She is still the Golden Slipper favourite. A salute for the camera there from Craig Newitt. Number 1 beats 3, Jesus. On Bloodstock, Damon Gabbard in the crew, $150,000 she cost.
Outside starts to assert her superiority. She races away the last little bit, and she goes on to win it. Samaretti beat Jesusa. Maydung, I think, got third.
My margins have been 1.5 out to 3 lengths, out to 3 lengths, and then yesterday, the last of a race, she put a margin on them again. She's a benchmark for mine. John, you had a good look at her yesterday. Obviously, summer today. She was a pair further back than we thought when she didn't begin Burnley. Blake Shinn's alarm didn't go off. He missed. She's a half length closer, but she was awesome. She's the one to beat. She's the benchmark, clearly.
So I listen to Mick, don't you, Mark?
Look, there's no doubt if you're going to win the Golden Flip, you're going to have to run past her at some stage. You know, she's bomb-proof. She gets through wet ground, and it's been having to get through wet ground when you're trying to win a Golden Slip is very important in the last few years.
I still don't want to show it here. You booked McDonald for it.
Well, look, James. We'll ride something. Yeah.
$2.60 now at Sporting Bet. They put up $3 for a short time yesterday. Rich, well done. $6.50 Piero and all too hard. We don't think will go.
In one way, I've tried to allow plenty of improvement into the slipper, so she's basically done and ready now. All I have to do is probably one gallop Tuesday week, maybe something like that, and she should be right. But she's the right filly to do it.
4 from 4. Sama ready a month since she demoralised her rivals in the Blue Diamond, and Mick Price yesterday summed it up by saying, heading towards the slipper, Richard, all I've got to do now is keep her breathing. Do you agree?
I've heard that before.
I think it's probably look, Mick's got her just where he wants her to be, and I think that was a stronger field than she met in the Diamond. To be honest, I think there were some better fillies in that field. Nothing went right for her. Not a thing really played it into her hands. She had to do it tough, and even on the corner, not having had a race that way of going, you could see she was just slightly unbalanced on the corner. When the business had to be done in the last 200 metres, she was working away from it properly. And for mine, she was the more impressive of the two slipper trials there. I thought Piero was brave and very good, and Epaulette, not much between those two. But she has got a bit of a margin on the fillies, and I think she'll win the slipper.
Oh, look, she's a deserved favourite for sure. She was a month between runs. She made a long, sustained run and beat them pointlessly here. Yeah, you know, a few people trying to make a case to say that Azusa was a little unlucky. Look, she wasn't pulling an inch off her at the finish there. Some already went around Azusa and shut the gate there, but it was early in the race. It was at the 600 or 700. And look,
Did you see the split times? Because I only saw the
of these Argyle Lakes. We see the return of More Joyous for the autumn. Of course, she won this race last year. She's won 5 Group 1. She's won 8 other group races. And Richie, fair to say, she's one of Sydney's favourite horses.
She's certainly dollars into $81. Albert the Fat, $12 to $50. Bang. Here's our girl. $2.40 though. She's out to $2.80. I think she's got a great chance.
And here she is, Supermare. More Joyous, as I said, won 15 of 22 at the highest level. Had that easy trial where she almost got there with Sincero. 5 Group 1s, George May, Queen of the Turf, you name it. She's won it. Wonderful family too. We know that. Yeah, let's hope so. This race, well.
So we're waiting on about 6 runners to take their position. Set to go, they're off. And coming out very quickly was More Joyous. She's probably just got a head in front early on now, shaded by Love Conquers All. Some Panini Pin from that wide alley rushing forward, followed by I Love This City and then Sincero and Triple Elegance and then Centennial Park. Back behind them, Hurdle Myrtle. Monton easing to midfield, followed by Torio's Quest. Albert the Fat picks up ground in the middle. And then Eagle Falls, Happy Zero, Metal Bender, Forteller last. Some Panini Pin strode forward and took up the running 800 out, led by 2. Love Conquers All second, Sincero third, and then Triple Elegance, More Joyous fifth in the middle. Outside it, Centennial Park, then Hurdle Myrtle, I Love This City and Monton, followed by Torio's Quest, Albert the Fat next, and then Eagle Falls, Metal Bender a long way back, so too Happy Zero, and Forteller whips them in. Some Panini Pin led as they turn for home, led by 2.5. Love Conquers All's flat to the boards at the moment, trying to wind up. Triple Elegance with it, and then Sincero, More Joyous coming down the outside, and Monton's running up with it as they come to the 200. Love Conquers All being joined by More Joyous and Monton out wide on the track, and then Sincero coming through in the middle. It's More Joyous, Love Conquers All, Monton, Sincero, but More Joyous is going to win it back to back. More Joyous beat either Monton or Metal Bender, who flashed along the inside. Then Love Conquers All and Sincero fighting out fourth, followed by I Love This City, Hurdle Myrtle, and then came Happy Zero, Centennial Park, Triple Elegance, Some Panini Pin, Forteller, then Eagle Falls, Albert the Fat, and last in Torio's Quest.
What a thrilling race. It wasn't, it was in doubt halfway up the straight, but this Mighty Mare, she's taken out another Canterbury Stakes.
She's a star. She's our star. She's Sydney's star female.
And she just went boom. She just said, I will not be beaten. Now, that's what I love. You saw it with Piero.
Yeah.
You know, she really, that heart you can't buy. It's just fantastic. I think it came on. The Doncaster Queen Elizabeth's where we're going. I'll have a talk with Duncan and John tonight and see where they want to go next.
Great to see you back in the races. Well done, Guy.
Thank you.
Guy Waterhouse with...
Right, and overall 23, she's had 16 wins now. And just have a look, this crowd here, you know, if you can get some shots.
Yeah, but none better, of course, than More Joyous. She didn't win the fashion on the field for best in the yard yesterday, but that might just be her. More Joyous. She's won 16 of 23. Hard to ignore such a great record. Nash has won 13 of 18 on her. Ronnie Monton, you must have had a sniff here. You said before, Craig may have got...
I agree with that. I thought Monton was outstanding. I thought Sincero was super. Metal Bender, unbelievable. And one, that sneaky one that come from last on the turn.
She was bloody tired the last 100, but she just kept giving and giving and giving.
No doubt about her, More Joyous. That was a tough, gritty win yesterday.
Oh, she's a champion, man. The only thing, she just doesn't handle heavy wet tracks. And the track was wet yesterday and she got the job done. Beautiful ride by Nash. She was always in control, although Monton loomed up to her there. I love her. She'll be very competitive in the Doncaster, even though she's got 57.5. That's a big weight for not a big mare. Just on the beaten brigade there, Monton was terrific. He's in the Doncaster with 52.5. That's a great first up run from him. He made a long sustained run. I thought, in fact, he may have went a little bit too early. Other good runs, there's plenty of them. I'll just, from the top down, Metal Bender, bad income. How good was he along
That's
the
him
inside?
along the inside there, isn't it?
He'd only had one run. That was his first up for over a year, and he'd only had one run in 18 months or so. He obviously had an injury and a bleeding attack. So if he gets back in business, he's one of the best horses in Australia, best weight for age horses in Australia, I'd suggest. Just quickly on Sincero was good. Richard, I just want to ask you, her coat was dull. What's the difference?
It's just a little different to the.
I've always thought
horse.
that maybe they're not right yet, so I'm thinking there's still more to come from More Joyce. I'm positive there's more to come from it. She hasn't peaked at all.
Yeah.
Hill Gardens, and we are up to the Group 1s. The Ranvet Stakes is the first of them, and Shootout, the Chipping Norton Stakes winner. He is the favourite, a former Derby winner here. Of course, as a 3-year-old in Sydney, he's around $3.20 on the tote. Richie,
$15. A stablemate Shootout, $4 into $3.70. It did touch $3.60. 10 to $9.50 for Trusting. Menegar, $6 out to $6.50. 61 Southern Speed's been the big drifter out to $7. And Scarlet Lady, $7.50 into $6. And I can tell you, Caroline, according to the team at Sportingbet, the market movers 2, Shootout in front of 14, and they're the only 2 they want, Shootout in front of 14. But Peter Moody's got power, 4 into $3.50, Caroline. It's been the best back runner, and it's a sportingbet.com.
$3.50, same on the tote. Trusting's been rock solid around the $10 mark. They've just taken the $3.50 in the ring. Shootout is into $3.30 now. Manigar, 5 out to $6.50. They're off. And Scenic Shot missed the start by a length. Trusting came out well. And so did Zarvit going up on the outside. Elo, followed by Rangi Rangdu and Shootout going forward into about 4th. Then Scarlet Lady Manigar, followed by Tullamore, who's skirting a wide course early on, followed by Southern Speed, Wall Street getting back, followed by Niwat, Scenic Shot and Hawk Island last. So last year's long price winner Zarvit took up the running. And he's in front of Elo running second, and then came Trusting in the middle, followed by Shootout. He's out wide on a limb without any cover early on. Southern Speed back along the fence, and then down the side is Niwat and Tullamore's 2 away last. 800 out, and the leader is Zarvit. He's in front by a length on the favourite Shootout. Rangi Rangdu moving up to 3rd, but he's had a tough run. Southern Speed saving ground near the inside, in the middle Elo. Then the Manigar, followed by Trusting. Scarlet Lady out wide, followed by Wall Street and Scenic Shot. Then at the head of the others, Niwat, Hawk Island, and Tullamore last of all. Getting to the business end now. 400 to go. Zarvit in front, Shootout and Rangi Rangdu straight up on the outside, and Manigar starts to loom up as well. Rangi Rangdu put his head in front, but Manigar's on the scene quickly on the outside. They're spreaded away from Shootout, and the others are headed by Niwat. It's Manigar and Rangi Rangdu. Rangi Rangdu on the inside, and Manigar. They're drifting right off the track here. Manigar on the outside, and Rangi Rangdu. There's absolutely nothing in it. Manigar might have his head in front. Rangi Rangdu kick back. I think Manigar might have just won. Manigar from Rangi Rangdu and Shootout. Then Southern Speed, followed by Wall Street. Then Elo. And then Niwat, Trusting, Scarlet Lady, followed by Hawk Island, Zarvit, Tullamore, and last in was Scenic Shot.
Let's look as if it's 2 Group 1s in a row for number 4. Manigar for Pete Moody, Luke Nolan. It looks as if he's maybe held off Rangi Rangdu on the inside. They were drifting right out. Let's see this as they get to the line. It did look as if he just got that stride in there. We'll just wait. It does that stride in there. We'll just wait. It does look as if on the outside. 4 from number 1 at Rangi Rangdu. He is the winner, Manigar. Number 4's taken out.
Anyway, but as you say, this horse has found the way to keep winning.
Yeah, he has. He's learned how to win, hasn't he? And, he's come here as a little bit apprehensive before the race. I thought he was too well, and I told Luke to give him a good bowl to the barriers. I just thought he was a bit too much above himself, but he just continues to thrive, and he really enjoys our conditions, and he's racing in great form. Luke's
Pete Moody with the winner there of the Rabbit Stakes after taking the Australian Cup.
Already $1.30.
3 wins, 2 Group 1s.
Big Manigar might have just won.
Well, 4 starts for Moody, 3 wins, 2 Group 1s. First Victorian horse to win this race since Sound Action, and first Australian Cup winner to win it since Viandacross and Manigar. Terrific training performance.
Rangi Rangdu was outstanding with all the injury problems. Shootout, he doesn't want to step outside the leader.
The furlong he was still to win.
Trusting, he's a horse that needs free room. He got lost. Blake there on Trusting. The winner was super though. He toughed it out. He's a good horse. Great yesterday. I just said, as a form person, I'm not convinced he's a 1.5 mile horse at weight for age.
What do you reckon, Ronnie?
I wouldn't be laying anything that Peter Moody trains.
Have you seen much of the development of Peter over there heading into the BMW?
I wouldn't take $9 Shootout.
Not going?
No, well, I think he's going the Doncaster. I think Hugh Bowman just said it, and I'm pretty sure that's where he'll go. He loves the Remick Mile. He won a Group 1 there. Because they get Mark Sheen's graphic call.
At a time when our weight for age ranks are possibly at their weakest in a while, Manigar looks ideally suited to be set for a Cox Plate.
Well, he looks pretty good, doesn't he? He's won his past 2 Group 1s and his last 2 starts over that distance. Interesting comments there by Moody. I was asking the same question. What distance does Peter Moody think this horse is his best distance? Maybe it is 2,000. We'll find out when he goes to the BMW if he can win it again against some other nice horses, including American in the race. Rangi Rangdu was fantastic. He fought hard, and maybe that's a great Doncaster trial for him again. Or maybe does he go push up in distance again, being an older horse? Just wanted to wander off the track, but that was the place to be there yesterday. Shootout had to go forward and sit outside the lead. Look, I don't think that was any real excuse for him. I think he had his chance. And of the others, although you may think he's overrated, I thought Niwat was very, very good here, Richard.
Look, I think. Look, I'll have to admit, Niwat's better than I thought he was. I thought he was overrated just off one performance in the spring, but he has been stringing a few together this autumn, so we'll see where he ends up.
Bit of a backflip, wasn't it?
Well, you got to, seeing is believing.
I wasn't waiting for age, right? Jury's out on her. She's only small. Look,
to Rosehill Gardens, second big Group 1 coming up. This is the feature of the day, the Coolmore Classic for the fillies and mares. Second to go, Streamer was the favourite. Of course, she'd won the T-Rose, the Furious, the Flight, and won the Surround Stakes second up. But it is the in-form mare, Richie, in Steps in Time, who's now into $4.20.
Yeah, been a very good go here, Caroline, for the older mare. The 3-year-old
skating, cap chat, bounding away. Some great racehorses.
So they're at the barrier stalls at Rosehill, arriving at the gates. Okay, thank you very much, Caroline. The runners at the stalls here for the running of and racing. Ladies Angel began well, so did Steps in Time on the outside, and then Albert and Park rushing through into third, followed by Streamer. Tomboy going through to the inside, followed by King's Rose. Red Tracer about midfield, and then Fox Star. Up on the outside of it, Secret Admirer, followed by Jose, and then, of course, I Can and Do Re Mi last. 1,100 out, Steps in Time sitting out wide in the early stages led. He's now punching up to go forward and cross him and lead from Ladies Angel, and then Tomboy sneaking up on the rail. Albert and Park in the middle, Streamer out 3 wide. Red Tracer looks to be even deeper. He's now easing back to try and slot in, and then came Bliss Street and King's Rose. 2 to Secret Admirer, Fox Star, of course I Can, Jose, and Do Re Mi last of all. So the heavily back Steps in Time is the leader. 2.5 lengths, Ladies Angel, Streamer third. Then over on the inside, Tomboy, followed by Albert and Park, Red Tracer. Bliss Street being hard ridden in midfield, followed by King's Rose, and then came Secret Admirer, followed by Fox Star, of course I Can, Jose, and Do Re Mi last. But Cassidy said, catch me if you can, and Steps in Time led by 2 on Ladies Angel, who's dragging up behind it and running on. And then came Red Tracer, King's Rose, and of course I Can's made up round quickly. She's coming down the outside. Steps in Time in front. Of course I Can and King's Rose and Secret Admirer. It's of course I Can on the outside. Secret Admirer and King's Rose. Of course I Can. She's just in front. Secret Admirer going to it late. They hit it. Of course I Can has just won it from Secret Admirer and King's Rose. Then Jose, followed by Streamer, Albert and Park and Fox Star, followed by Bliss Street, Steps in Time.
Ending performance, Ronnie Quinton, Kathy O'Hara on board. Number 8, Of Course I Can, takes out the 2012 Coolmore Classic. Number 1, Secret Admirer, trying hard, the little chestnut mare in the middle, and then King's Rose in third placing. But what a great result. An in-form mare third up today. Of Course I Can, number 8, takes it out.
To your heart as a rider and now as a trainer. Must be a great thrill for you, Ron.
Yes, Bruce. I won the first one ever run. I won it on the Great Mare. And, to train a winner of it's pretty special.
Winning this first Group 1 here at Rosehill.
Yeah, look, just thrilled to bits to win this race. And it's a big honour to ride a winner for Ronnie. He's a champion jockey, and he's a great trainer in his own right. So,
I like Kathy to a good riding. It's very hard.
Well, that was the thing at Warwick Farm. She got that horse to really settle well, whereas in previous starts she's got to head up and done a few things wrong, hasn't she?
Well, she certainly has. She's been a devil to ride, really. But Kathy got the job done really, really well. I told her yesterday, I said,
He was your max he did yesterday. 4.5 kilos difference on Secret Admirer, who was brave. King's Rose out to the mile off a 1,200-metre run was excellent. I think those 3 were the standout performers there, Rich, in the race. A couple to rethink about, including Streamer.
I'm just saying to Mark, I feel, and I said it yesterday, Bruce, to you in the in trackside, when they straightened up and Jimmy just that on Steps in Time, I honestly thought it was over. But just as I'd kind of finished thinking that, Ladies Angel kind of got a length closer, and then the others started to pounce, and the horses out wide, they were the ones. And at the 50, I must admit, I thought Secret Admirer would kick back and beat the winner, Mark, but to the winner's credit, she toughed it out.
Yeah, you've got to give Secret Admirer a rap here. Not many mares carry 58 in this race. We've seen Sunlight and Emancipation win with 60, but they were out and out champions. For Secret Admirer to carry 58 and only go down by a head's a pretty good effort.
Ron, watching the race,
Been in the place.
Of course, I can. Defeated males at her last start, all comers, you know, and that was very, very good form, evidently, as it turned out. Look, we know how much ability she has. She's put herself in that Group 1 category only in this preparation, I think. She's only really come of age this prep. Secret Admirer is back. That was a big weight she was asked to carry and carried it really well, only going down by the shortest of margin. King's Rose, we know how good she is. And, you know, I think the Barrads have played yesterday quite a large role. Big fields, lots of good jockeys, no quarter asked for nor given, and there were plenty of horses got trapped wide in that race. Streamer, I'm a big fan of Streamer, but she had a hell of a weight for a 3-year-old filly, giving weight to some really good mares, and it's hard to do, isn't it, Ronnie?
It certainly is, but all honours with the winner. She'd been beautifully presented into this race by Ron Quinton, who's done a marvellous job with her. There was queries whether she'd run 1,500 coming into the race, but she dead set come out of the race with flying colours. She's not the easiest horse to ride. She can get on the bit and want to charge in her races. So Kathy was negative.
Their plan there. The major news of the morning involves Streamer. Now, the horse is very much high up in the Doncaster mile market right now. The news is that the horse won't be going to the Doncaster. $11 chance at the moment. Streamer instead at this stage. Slightly disappointed Guy Walter yesterday. They may ride her a little bit quieter next time, and they're leaning towards the Vinery at 2,000 metres in a fortnight. But certainly,
If runners are in the yard, we're still doing the presentation for it's the start time here for the Far Lap, another feature for the 3-year-olds, a Group 2.
Yeah, Caroline, the presentation's still going here, so there's a few cameras attached there. $9 mark is to ousted as market mover. They better be on the $9 mark. It's into $5 here on track. I've got out.
Yeah, got into 420. He's now back out to 440 as you cross up. Rekindled Alliance 4 out to 5, and that's the one. And Freewheeling jumped out well, so did Fontalina. Wildham Trout drives through along the fence to be up with the leaders as well. Then Rekindled Alliance, followed by Benfica out wide. In behind them next as they settle down, Colorado Clear. Aeronautical back past midfield, 1 mile. Niconoy's well back, that's the 1 second last. Isopac at the rear of the field. Around the first bend and Benfica led. Wildham Trout is in second spot, followed by Colorado Clear. On the outside, Fontalina fourth, followed by Freewheeling and Aeronautical. Then over on the inside, Hugel. And then further back, Rekindled Alliance. He's about 6 or 7 off the lead. On the outside, and Niconoy's Isopac, and that's the one. Turning for home, Benfica led. Wild and Proud stalks it. Comes up on the outside. Fontalina making a move as well. Then Colorado Clear and Rekindled Alliance getting to the outside. It's Benfica from Colorado Clear coming through in the middle. Wild and Proud under the whip. Fontalina, Hugel, and then Rekindled Alliance. Any one of about 4 or 5 here. Benfica, Colorado Clear, Wild and Proud, Rekindled Alliance on the outside, but it's Colorado Clear hanging on as they draw to the line, and Colorado Clear won it from Rekindled Alliance. It's a photo for third, Wild and Proud and Freewheeling, followed by Hugel and Isopac last.
Well, the filly beats the boys. A pretty appropriate Coolmore Classic Day. Colorado Clear for John O'Shea. What a big weekend. And James McDonald on
2,000 even at full Derby distance, and he looks well on track.
Yeah, coming off a great.
But Colorado Clear joins that list, beats the older horses, and given a sweet ride here by Jay McDonald, who's about to join your stable, I understand.
Yeah, look, he we got a day at Canberra. Runs a good track on. The less said about that, the better. So, yeah, she's a winner. She wants to be a racehorse, and it was a really good effort.
I went and visited
Canberra Cup Day, but this proves that this is a good filly. I'm not giving up on Rekindled Alliance. He's 3 weeks between runs. He had to make a long, sustained run, and still he showed a bit of character there late. If he gets a dry track, in the Rosehill Guineas, he could really upset them. Wild and Proud was very one pace.
Diamond Magic Night Stakes, Mondial Pink Diamonds, the lovely jewellery I've been wearing the last.
So I've got about a half a dozen to move up with Ichihara. Moving in, Catkins is away, so to Mrs. Gray later Gator, and the 2 in the They're ready to jump. They're off. Later Gator went straight up in the air at the start. It missed it. Omniscient came out well, and so did She's a Fox. Valerio going forward very quickly, and so is Ichihara. So it's Valerio on the outside of Ichihara. Then Omniscient, followed by She's a Fox. Cavalry Rose 3 wide early, doubtfully going up on the rail. Then Coins, later Gators picked up ground in midfield, followed by Flying Stitzel, Varanasi. Well back as they settle down was Kyria, Mrs. Gray, and Catkins is right out the back last of all. Ichihara railed up and led with about 600 to go, led from Valerio and doubtfully, followed by Omniscient. Then She's a Fox. Cavalry Rose is deep and looks to be hanging a touch, followed by Coins. Then Flying Stitzel, later Gator. Varanasi back on the fence from Catkins, and then further back Kyria, who's second last, and last is Mrs. Gray. Ichihara led for home and kicked away and led by 2. Omniscient's coming out of the pack to give chase. Behind it, She's a Fox, and Cavalry Rose is running on down the outside. Coming to the 200, Ichihara led. Cavalry Rose and Omniscient, She's a Fox, and Flying Schnitzel. As they run to the 100, Ichihara's in front. Cavalry Rose is green, but it's throwing out a challenge. Cavalry Rose loomed up on the outside, close. Cavalry Rose lunged at Ichihara, and they fought it out from Flying Schnitzel. Then in behind them next, doubtfully, followed further back by Varanasi, and then later gated
That's pretty close to call. Cavalry Rose, and they come to the line. There's Ichihara the inside, Cavalry Rose the outside, or it could well be the inside, Rich.
Yeah, at first look, Caroline, I thought Cavalry Rose too, but the low angle, it's a photo. The 3 will get it. Number 3, Ichihara. Number 3 will beat number 2, Cavalry.
Indeed, she's actually a full sister to Oh Chocolat and Isuraba, both stakes winners as well. The family
Just gets there for Corey Brown and Alan Denham, and she is an unbeaten filly by General Nadim. Maxi Div at 8.30, starting price 7.50. Cavalry Rose terrific 8.50. Flying filly by General Nadim. Maxi Div at 8.30, starting price 7.50. Cavalry Rose terrific 8.50. Flying Schnitzel in for third. They ran faster than the boys, 110.73. Not home faster though in the 600 metres.
She was very good. She's won 3 from 3. It's hard to knock her. It's great for Alan Denham, who's about to draw a close on his training career. But like the second fiddle, which Mark was tipping in the previous show, Cavalry Rose, she hung most of the way, Mark, which we pointed out in the previous show. Her effort was outstanding.
Yeah, well, Ichihara was on the fence in the worst of the ground, but Cavalry Rose 3 deep hanging all the way, and the one Nash Road later Gator.
Fence, so everyone that's saying the fence was no good. She had first look at it and won the first race. Nothing else went on it after that. So how do we know the fence was completely off? I don't know. Cavalry Rose was unlucky. Wide, no cover, just on one rein there. I reckon this is going to make a nice filly, this Flying Schnitzel, when she next preparation at 3. I think she's got a bit of a quality about her, and I think she'll get better as the races get longer. But all honours with the winner. She stretched that speed out to 1,200 metres yesterday.
Gardens, a big crowd gathered around the mounting yard here to have a look at the unbeaten half-brother to the unbeaten Black Caviar. All too hard. Not only does he have that fantastic pedigree, he is also a cracking-looking colt here, and turned out with that familiar Hawks team polish. He looks sensational. And Richie, he is fluctuating between the $1.30, $1.35 mark.
Yeah, and there's still money for the other gallop. We're only 2 in the market.
Now you have a look at him on the screen, or here if you're on track. All Too Hard by Casino Prince. Well, he won a Skyline at 2, and a Chipping Norton is an older horse. He's out of Helsing. She's thrown not just Black Caviar and All Too Hard, but also Moshe, who won a couple of races as well. And he's unbeaten this colt 2 from 2.
Look, he's strutting around here.
Board.
Yeah, let's go look. Now, what happened was there was $1.35 into $1.30 about 3 times, and now it's back out to the best price it's been all week, which is the same, 5 to 2 on.
About to be led up. The Roughened Racing, and a pretty good dispatch. Now, Pure Hustle's jumped only fairly, and he's trying to pick up ground early on with Le Cap going to the lead from Limes and Collect. Pure Hustle going up into 4th, followed by Fob Dubai, then Narcissus. All Too Hard came out about 2nd or 3rd last, and he settled back there 2nd last now, in fact. And last of all is Hard Marker. Fob Dubai nearly got put over the fence there at the 800. He got skittled. As they run onto the course proper now, Le Cap led from Collect up outside of it, and then Pure Hustle who's running third on the outside of Limes, and then Fob Dubai followed by Narcissus. All Too Hard 2nd last. He's 6 or 7 off the lead. Dunn's about to peel him to the outside. Hard Marker's 2 away last. Into the straight, and Le Cap led from Collect, and Pure Hustle followed in behind them by Limes. Narcissus and All Too Hard are starting to rush down the outside. Coming to the 300, it's Le Cap and Collect fighting it out. All Too Hard in the centre of the track has collared them now very quickly. He's rushed to the front and under hands and heels riding. He's starting to drive clear with about 100 metres to go. Dunn's put the brakes on here and he'll canter in. All Too Hard wins it. Narcissus got second, Limes third. Then Hard Marker, Pure Hustle, Fob Dubai, followed by La Cap, and Collectors finished last of all.
137 the numbers, and we're going to be hearing this quite a lot. All Too Easy for All Too Hard, Dwayne Dunn and Patnack Farm. And the Hawks team just turned him out beautifully. He's taken out the Pago.
Exactly what we thought would happen. It is, Richard. You know, he jumped okay. You know, he got back, but we sort of left it up to Dwayne and, you know, however it panned out. And, you know, look, he's on the best horse, ride him like it is. And, you know, he didn't panic. He just nursed him around the corner. And, you know, when he got up outside, he just said, let's go, and give him a couple of slaps. And, you know, look, he was eased down. It wasn't an easy win in the end, but you still got to win. You know, there's still a lot of pressure there.
Well, the three-quarter sister going through English Easter yearling sales from Maccabi. This fellow, as I said, 1.025 million from the English Easter sales in 2011. There are the English.
He's a real deal, and obviously we think he's a 3-year-old, and that's when he'll be a superstar. But to do this at this stage is it's just excellent. You love it, just excellent.
You love to see him here in 7 days?
Oh, why not? I could do with a bank check.
I don't think you need it.
The short price favourite didn't stop the punters though. 140 was thrown up, well, started $1.35 starting price. Maxi did $1.35. Big space to the others. Broke 3,600 metres. Super impressive.
Yeah, 0.6 quicker than the fillies, the last 600. But Ichihara did all the work up in front, and she got a little bit tired in the first, but. He did it comfortably. It was only a sprint up the last, 2.5 furlongs, I suppose, and then he throttled down Dwayne Dunn. He's obviously a very good horse. I agree with what Nash said off there. He said, if I owned it, he said, I wouldn't run it. So,
Well, he's got the size at his mercy. He's the option, you reckon?
There's been a lot of discussion in regards to that from a breeding point of view. Do they want to stay unbeaten as a 2-year-old? Do they avoid the golden slipper? He do mark what he did there and just be ridden cold and come around a 16-horse field. It's obviously a different scenario.
Well, I think Samaretti and he are the two standouts. Richard, I don't know what your thoughts are, but the bookies think the same. But that was an amazing display. His win in the size was outstanding as well. I think I'd be running him.
Look, it just the filly Samaretti $2.80, All Too Hard $3.10, and Piero $7.50. Rich and Mark, is that where the race ends? Those top three.
Yeah, top four probably for me.
Hands, I think that's the understatement of the week.
Yeah, look, he's a star, isn't he? He's a push. When you push the button on him, doesn't he accelerate and put a field away? Only good horses do that. And look, he's a live wire chance in the slipper. There's no doubt about it. You know, his racing pattern could bring him unstuck in a full field. But look at this. He goes past them. He's eased him down, Dwayne, on the line there, and looks a superstar. There's no doubt about it. He looks a horse that could win a slipper. He could come back and, win a Caulfield Guineas. He could, be competitive in a Cox Plate. Who knows? Horses can improve a lot, and he looks like one of these genuine improvers. He's got a real octagonal look about him for me, the way his style.
He's got that X factor, Richard.
Well, he's run this race is a half second slower than the fillies division, and he sat back in what is essentially a leisurely run race and just rounded them up with a much faster last 600 split in the race. So his last 600 would have been pretty exceptional from where he was. So, look, I'll tell you this. He starts in the slipper, he'll start favourite in the slipper, and he'll win the slipper. And the reason I'm so confident he starts in the slipper, Patnack owned Casino Prince. Patnack owned the horse. Here, All Too Hard. What is the value to that stud operation to have the sire of a slipper winner and a slipper winner going to stud there? It makes the whole thing commercial. It has to happen. I mean, simply has to happen.
It's the very thing those stud businesses.
Challenge stakes for the sprinters here, and we get to see Rain of Fair. He's won 10 out of 12. Of course, it was a bit of a tough ask in the Newmarket last start down there in Melbourne. He's $1.50 on the tote. Richie just on $1.09.
Just out that little pinochle out. The 10 to 9 on now to $1.90. Neeson, the state.
By commands, as I said, won 10 of 12. Second on the other occasion, Joe Pride, Corey Brown. Combining here with Don Story, and just a really good job there, and then starts.
So there's 4 to come up, and they are Bell Sprint. They're off. Bell Sprinter walked out. He missed it by 2. Rain Affair the best out. Winter King's going up to take him on early here. And it's Winter King putting its head in front with Rain Affair sticking with him on the inside. They're about 2 on Satin Shoes, followed by Elite Falls. And then came Neeson, Bell Sprinter and Cardinal Virtue last of all. Rain Affair sped through and took the lead. But Winter King made him work, and he's got Rain Affair a little bit fired up. And Rain Affair led by a length or so on Winter King. 3 or 4 Satin Shoes. Elite Falls back on the fence next, followed by Neeson, Bell Sprinter and Cardinal Virtue last. Coming for home, Rain Affair led. Jockey steered about 2 or 3 away from the inside and broke away from Winter King, led by 2.5. Satin Shoes next, followed by Elite Falls. Then Neeson and Bell Sprinter, and further back was Cardinal Virtue. He's gone for the stick at the 250 on Rain Affair. Satin Shoes about a length and a half away, and then Neeson, Elite Falls and Bell Sprinter. Rain Affair in front. He's flat to the boards. Satin Shoes and Neeson coming after him, but Rain Affair is hanging on, and Rain Affair won it from either Satin Shoes or Neeson and Bell Sprinter. Then Elite Falls, followed by Cardinal Virtue, and Winter King, the one that made the favourite work early, has finished tailed off.
Our Rain Affair, well, he did a few things wrong again, didn't he? There had his head on the side. Maybe he thought he was going the Melbourne way again, but Winter King, he took it up to him.
A bit soft for the run today. I've got a race in 2 weeks' time, the TJ that I've got him primed for, and I think we'll see him at his best on that day, but nice to get away with today.
Off camera, you
Winter King and the rest of the field, and it still looked like he was trying to cuddle him, but he really did have to pull out all stops in the straight.
Neeson and Bell Sprinter.
Well, his maxi div was $1.85, Rain Affair. Immediately after the race, talking to Joe Pride, Joe looked a little underwhelmed. He looked at the clock and running a second outside the track record. Certainly was given a bit of a task by Winter King. Your reaction, Mark, to it was good effort?
Yeah, look, I thought he was probably his head was on the chopping block 100 out. I thought all the work he'd done early, he looked to be, I think he's a better horse when he's on the rail, something guiding him because he can wobble about a little bit, but he's still, he was a little bit too tough for them at the finish, Rich.
Yeah, he certainly was. I thought he was super. At the 100, I really thought they were going to get him, but as in that graphic call, which was just super. The last 30, he punched out, he held them at bay. He's a top-class sprinter. And if he just seems to travel more sweeter when he gets that little sting out of the track. Like, he zipped home in 34.
Oh, outstanding.
Oh, he's fun to watch. I mean, he went out there and he put on his usual show where he, puts his head up and charges to the front, and Winter King fired him up even more. And I don't know, that was suicide tactics on Winter King. But I thought there were some good runs behind him as well. He's a rising star, and when he gets his own way, and he doesn't even have to get it all his own way. If he gets to the front, he's enormously hard to run down. I thought Bell Sprinter was very good behind him. He was a bit lost in time. He ran into a couple of dead ends. He wasn't sure. He wanted to take a couple of runs, and he's a horse on the improvers. I could see a good race in him as well. Maybe a Galaxy or something like that for him. But I tell you what, I love watching this horse, Ronnie. He's just fun to watch.
That's an outstanding win. That is an absolute outstanding win. He was attacked left, right, and centre, and he was the last man standing. He was there to be beat, and he pulled plenty out. He's I can't give him enough credit. Just look at it. 1,400, back to 1,200, back to 1,100. That's not easy to do.
He broke 1-4, didn't he?
Yeah, look, he's
an
iron horse, that horse.
They would have run really quick early second.
Fourth run this
up to the Ajax Stakes. This is a Group 2 lead up to the Doncaster Handicap or the Doncaster Mile as it's known now. The favourite on course is Niagara at $6 just ahead of Pierre Terre and Speediness, Rich.
Yeah, very open. Let's go down the board. All silent. The former star, $20 out to Niagara. Well, I got out to 6. It's now equal favour because it's $6.50 each of 2. It and Speed is still 4 races to go. 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, my God.
Then we go out to Speediness at 7:30. Pierre de Terre, in fact, just in front of it at $7 on the tote, and Star of Octave. Ready? Racing, and All Silent jumped out quickly out wide, but he'll be dragged back shortly after the start. Niagara's rushing forward to take the lead from Alma's Fury, and then Firebolt going forward as well. He'll be second, followed by Gathering Fast Clip, Pierre de Terre, Speediness jumped okay. And last of all, as they settled down, was Einstein as they worked towards the side of the track, and Niagara led by a length. Firebolt running second, and then came on the outside. Fast Clip going up to third, but deep. Gathering's over on the rail. Alma's Fury in the centre. Then the Pieta Tear followed by Hood, and then came absolutely Star of Octagonal midfield out 3 wide. Speediness is behind it from All Silent Happy Trails, and then a long way back Triple Elegance, Einstein and Aldafra last. As they swing for home, a little over 400 to go. Niagara led up for home in front of Firebolt and Fast Clip. Then Alma's Fury and Hood down on the inside is gathering. Star of Octagonal coming down the outside with Pieta Tear, but Niagara exploded away at the 300. He's about 3 lengths in front of Fast Clip and Star of Octagonal. Absolutely getting up near the inside, Alma's Fury and Happy Trails, but Niagara's in a race of his own. Niagara sprinting away over the concluding stages and was too good to win it from a wall of horses. I'd say Star of Octagonal second. Take your pick for third. Absolutely Alma's Fury and Happy Trails. Then came in behind them next Fast Clip, followed by Pieta Tear, Speediness and Hood. Then All Silent Triple Elegance, followed by Gathering Aldafra Einstein. And last in was Firebolt.
Well, Gay Waterhouse said before the Ajax Niagara would need to win well if he's going to be in with a chance in the Doncaster. He has done that and done that emphatically. A very English interims, 470, 210, 270 Star of Octagonal and 530 for Alma.
Absolutely smashed them. $6 was your maxi div, though Rich did rename him at one stage throughout the day. Star of Octagonal at $8.50 and Alma's Fury at $19. He broke 3rd and 5 the last 600 metres. And Mark, he goes onwards towards the Doncaster. He was ultra impressive.
Yeah, look, I was all over him in the previous show. Standy, didn't he? He was in another postcode to the rest of them.
And Tommy, he rode him aggressive, put him there, and then see you later. Got rid of Firebolt. The others couldn't go. I thought absolutely went terrific. Nothing near this. This winner was just awesome, and he's a live Doncaster chance. There's no doubt about that. He's just electric.
But he's got to get a run, Richie. Now his rating will probably go up with that win.
You'd imagine so.
But
one winner, she's the $7 favourite. More Joyce, who came back a winner at $9. And there's Niagara sitting there at $10 with King's Rose.
We saw Gay's dominance yesterday, Mark.
It's turned into a man. And look, I reckon he's got a chance in the Doncaster. He should get a penalty for that, I'd suggest. Like if you take Alma's Fury into consideration, he's remarkable. Beat Alma's Fury at Newcastle and got half a kilo. This horse destroys Alma's Fury. If he needs a penalty to get in the race, he should get one. Put it that way. Maybe his rating will lift now, and he'll come up the order of entry list. But they want a horse like this in the Doncaster, not just because I've backed it. It's because he's a horse in form. And the market tells you he should be in the race. He's 10-1, second line of betting.
Price you get?
That's
Well, I've got a piece of breaking news.
The thing I'll say about him is they tried him as a middle distance and staying 3-year-old in the spring. I don't think he is one. I think he's perfectly placed around that 1,500, 1,600, maybe stretch out to 2,000 as he gets older, but doesn't look like a stayer. But tell you what, they've got him at his right place at the moment. He's flying.
It is the Flinders Lane Rosehill Guineas Gardens that is all happening out here. It is the Flinders Lane Rosehill Guineas coming up next of all, the Group 1 for the 3-year-olds. And we have a crack field of 3-year-olds lining up here. The filly, though, Silent Achiever from New Zealand, she's the favourite. At around the $4, I was about to say $4.20. Richie, I just had a look now. She's already
$14 for me. Galar. $10 now, Stroke the Stars, out to 10. Darcy Be Good. Well, Sedcom, $12. $31 Proliferate. Ampy Dexter, $11, $12. Laserhawk, $5.50 into 5. Merlin Must and Silent Achiever, the girl, $4.20.
Number one. Yeah, number one. Well, it could be out.
Number 18, Silent Achiever, $4.20 they bet. Bang, into $3.30. Big go for the New Zealand filly. Huge go. She's the market mover, Silent Achiever. 13 to 4 into 9 to 4. $4.20 into $3.30. She's a big go in the
tote. So big support for this filly who won the New Zealand Derby and had bolted in the Waikato and Avondale Guineas before that. Now, they're off. And coming out slowly was Hoylonny, Proliferate, Ocean Park and Setcom. They all went out the back. Silent Achiever back with him settling down. Laserhawk jumped out fast and strode through to take up the running with Dr. Doom going forward on the outside. Ambidexter racing up close today. Merlin Mustang pressing forward out wide, followed by Big Time and Highly Recommended. Then in the next group, Darcy Be Good out a little bit wide on the outside of Rock and Pop, followed further back, led by a length on Merlin Mustang. And then Darcy Be Good running third on the outside. Laser Hawk ahead away, back on the fence. And then a couple of lengths to Ambidexter's racing with Roppenpock, highly recommended. Next followed by Strike the Stars. Then Big Time followed by Induna. Sabridge can't get on the track. Sangster likewise near the back of the field, followed by Proliferate in the centre. Over on the rail is Galar. Then Ocean Park about to hook out and take off from the back of the field. Hoylonnie's trying to track it forward. Silent Achiever still well back, but starting to edge forward. And Setcom last of all. 600 out in the Guineas. Dr. Doom, the leader from Moorland Mustang. Darcy Bigot is third. Rockin' Pot rushed up on the outside. Laserhawk back on the fence. Strike the Stars about to commence its run. Ocean Park up on the outside, and Silent Achiever has worked up to be about midfield, coming to the outside. Into the straight, the leader is Dr. Doom. It's in front of Rockin' Plop and Ocean Park coming down the outside, and Silent Achiever and Laserhawk got the inside run. Laserhawk broke through. Ocean Park and Silent Achiever are coming after it down the outside, and in the middle, Ambidexter. It's Laserhawk in front from Ocean Park and Silent Achiever as they draw to the line. Laserhawk for Gay has won it from Ocean Park and Silent Achiever. Then Ambidexter, followed by Sedcom. Further back behind them next, we had Hoylonnie, followed by Rockin' Pop, and then in behind them next, Strike the Star.
Well, Gay Waterhouse, Nashra Willer and Gory, Laserhawk, the half-brother to Desert War. They've held off the Kiwis. Ocean Park in second placing, number 16 and 18, Silent Achiever, tracking him up into third placing, but all honours with Laserhawk, this really raw young horse. He's only had 5 starts now, and he is a Rosehill Guineas winner, a Group 1 winner, holding off the Kiwis. Can he for the Derby? There are the English interims for you, 590. Gay Waterhouse is now with Jason Richardson.
Okay, what a day you are having. Start number 5, he wins a Group 1. He's a little star.
He's outstanding. That's what he is. This is a really, really star-studded field here today. The best that Australasia can put offer of stayers, all rising stars, and he licked them. You know, he's such a good horse. And what about Nash in motion? Wasn't it amazing the way he was sort of like flowing up and down? The one that makes Nash really run well, really race well, is when all his mates are winning races, he thinks it's time for me to.
Promising start.
Yeah, I thought he really put the writing on the wall. He showed good ability the whole way through, but it's taken him a long time to get to this stage. Just, magnificent effort by all the staff and Gay, yeah, it's taken on a long time to show his potential. And after riding him in the round McGinnis the other day, I said, I haven't been this excited getting off horse since I rode Ulstrom, and it's a big call.
There's a lot of speed.
He's looking showing great potential, going through his classes quite comfortably, for provincials, and then, I think this was his second win in town, so how far he's come in such a short space of time has been quite amazing. And
yeah, great win by Laserhawk, of course, the son of Artie Schiller for Nash and Gay. $6.60 the Maxi Div, starting price $5.50. Ocean Park was terrific runner-up. And the filly Silent Achiever, the $3.20 favourite for Huey Bowman and Roger James, was going to go past Ocean Park, Rich.
Yeah, honestly, at the furlong, I thought Silent Achiever would win the race. I thought she was about to explode like we'd seen in New Zealand the start previously when she won the Derby over there. And look, I'm not saying she was disappointing. She's run third in a big field of 18, but I thought, leaving Nash's horse aside, Laserhawk, I thought the run of the second horse, Ocean Park, was outstanding. They'll have to pay a late entry fee to the Derby.
Of course, who was the runner-up on Ocean Park.
Basically, if you swap the runs, I win. There's no doubt. Great ride by Nash, and his horse was very. His first couple of quarters, he really wasn't in the race. So it took a bit of prodding to get him into the race, and then I got back, obviously, on the fence. From about the 1300 to about the half mile, the pace really started to slow up there. So I was in a position where I had to make a decision, and I made a decision to come out and go forward. And he smoked up to him like the winner. And I just think I would have liked something to do the donkey work, and I followed it up. But unfortunately, I didn't have that, and I thought he was very, very good. I was proud of the horse as ever.
Let's talk us through the key runners here, according to your eye.
Well, I don't think you got the second horse there because it's not nominated for the Derby, but I think it's the one that going forward, Ocean Park and Laserhawk are the two that I want to be on.
The half-brother Desert Walk.
Look, I know the New Zealanders were great there. They made long, sustained runs, Ocean Park and Silent Achiever, but he's just got Derby written all over him, this horse. He's rough. He goes forward. He makes his own luck. They get to him and he fights them off. When he goes home to Randwick at 2,400, I wait for what perceived the inside was no good. I don't know. All in all, the three of them can go forward. There's no doubt about it. And I don't know what Silent Achiever will do. Maybe Andrew's got more on that later, but whether she goes to the Oaks or the Derby. But whatever happens, I'm with the winner. Hoi Lonnie was all right from the back here. It was his first run for a while, and he looks like a stayer that could improve with that hit out under his belt.
The Kiwis were certainly closing, Richard.
Look, they both ran, as Ronnie said, extremely well. I tend to think if either one of them had as good a run as Laser Hawk had, one of them would probably have won the race. Not to take anything away from him, because I think he probably will win the Derby. But on that day, they had much tougher runs, and they were only beaten half a length at most. So very good runs from them, and hard to make a Derby case for anything that finished behind the first three. I just don't think any of those have the claim.
But we'll wait and see with Silent Achiever whether it's the Derby or the Oaks, Joe.
Runners and riders, and as I say, Jim, a far more international field here with form lines from all over the world represented in a classic gentleman.
Christophe Soumillon, 7-14 helmet, Karen McAvoy.
So this is the market for the UAE Derby, a hard race to price up, really. Road beat a few of these in the Breeders' Cup last year at Churchill Depth.
One up in the air. Falls and lower the play now. Winner. Gates open, they're racing in the UAE Derby, and Falls of Laura slow to begin, and McDarm didn't come out all that quickly. Helmet flew out of the machine and goes looking for the lead. Daddy Longlegs butt goes underneath him and will try and hold him deep going into the first turn. Rope goes up to third, Maritime of fourth. A length away, Ballada Sail on the inside of Red Duke. Verano poking up on away was travelling out wide. Then Kinglet, Falls of Laura, and then Fatata whip them in as they leave the back of the track. 700 left to run. The first 800 of the Derby in 50.5. Helmet showing the way past the 600 metres peg. 3/4 of a length in front of Daddy Longlegs going up to pressure. Maritimer about to peel 3 deep. Verano on the rail. Rope behind the leading pair looking for a gap. Red Duke comes to the outside. Then Yangtze Kayang and McDam sticks to the fence. Helmet headed by Daddy Longlegs in the straight. Past the 300. Daddy Longlegs went to the front. His stable companion Rope comes after him. Yangtze Kayang's running on down the centre of the track. Daddy's in front. Rope trying to reach him. Yangtze coming at the pair. Yangtze Kayang after Daddy Longlegs, but Daddy Longlegs found more. He's in front and he's won the Derby. Daddy Longlegs beat Yangtze Kayang. Rope third, McDam fourth, and then Helmet, Maritimer, Enfatata, and Gen 10 was last home in the UAE Derby of 2012.
Aidan O'Brien goes one place better than 12 months ago and gains his first.
Third win to Coolmore there with Daddy Longlegs, Aidan Open favourite, and well, the least we say about Helmet, the better. He was downright disappointing.
Well, if Darley didn't own him, I doubt that he'd been there. You couldn't have taken him there on the form he showed in Australia prior to that.
Yeah, his form here, this preparation's been down. Was tooting him at the furlong. Yeah, I think they.
Ivor Bridge Lad is the mount there of Michael O'Connell. Number 9, Seapoy, Karen McAvoy. 10 is In Exile, the mount of Adrian Nichols. 11 is Soul, Frankie Dettori.
And the market headed by last year's winner, Rocket Man, at 3-1 for Singapore. Well, they're headline horses. Sepoy is second in at 7-2. The Factor for America, third at 9-2. Krypton Factor and Lucky 9 in 12. Seapoy 9. Where will they go? Here's the Dubai Golden Sheen, sponsored by Gulf Wheels.
Racing in the Dubai, Golden Shaheen and Rocket Man from the inside won the start by 3/4 of a length. Giant Ryan left very quickly. Seapoy began well, and so did Krypton Factor. In Exile out wide is rushing forward, Happy to Buy on the fence behind the pace, followed by Soul, Hitchens, Rush and Rock. Further back is out deep on the track, Lucky 9. The Factor is second last, and Iverbridge Lad a half length away at the tail of the field. First quarter, a scorching 23.8 as Rocket Man brings them past the 600 metres mark. Rocket Man is the leader, only narrowly coming under the turn. He's being pressured by Giant Rhine. In Exile's a length away, running third. Happy to Buy behind them from Krypton Factor. Then Hitchens, Soul, Seapoy, both under pressure from Russian Rock. And Lucky 9 to the outside. Rocket Man's in front, coming to 250. Krypton Factor comes after Rocket Man. They're clear of Lucky 9 and Hitchens. Krypton Factor alongside Rocket Man. 100 metres left to go. Krypton Factor takes the lead. Forges clear of Rocket Man and Lucky 9. And there's number 1 for Bahrain at the World Cup meeting. Krypton Factor has beaten Rocket Man and Lucky 9. Then Hitches, the Factor, In Exile, Giant Ryan, Russian Rock, Happy to Buy, Seat Boy, Overbridge Lad, and Soul.
Pointing the Aussies, Rocket Man runs second. Krypton Factor for Kieran Fallon wins 13-2 favourite, and Lucky 9 runs at third. But looks like both Sepoy, Sol had already won a race over in Dubai, but Sepoy downright disappointing.
Yeah, look, you can put it down to where they didn't handle the heat. They mightn't like the Tapeta circuit surface. A lot of horses go there and don't like that surface. Maybe in hindsight, Sepoy should have run in the 1,000-metre race at Hortensia running on the grass. Like that surface, maybe should have run in the 1,000-metre race at Hortensia running on the grass, on the turf, perhaps. But on face value, he couldn't get going early. He never showed the blistering speed we've seen him show in the Oakley Plate. We're out here. Rocket Man's run was outstanding. He had to do a stack of work early. I thought he was courageous, but he's shown the last few years that he got a liking for that surface, so that's for sure. But Sepoy, Mark?
Over-raced, and just nothing went right there out in front and dropped out. Sepoy didn't handle that all-weather track, so there may have been excuses. They now go to England. They're both trained under the Godolphin banner.
Lights beginning to stand out in the night sky. The look down on the falcon shape of Maidan.
War artist Kevin Shea. 10 Hortensia, Craig Williams, take out 11. Number 12 is Prohibit, the mount of Jim Crowley. Number 13 is Better Be the One, Kieran Fallon.
JJ, the jet plane, came through the gloom to land his second success, having missed a year in between, and Giant Fun's bidding to do exactly the same thing. Soul Power.
Gates fly, and they're racing in the Elgars sprint. Mashua Joe from the inside, one of the first away. Addictive Dream and Joy and one of the first away. Addictive Dream and Joy and Fun didn't begin all that quickly. Margot did on the grandstand side, and Secret Asset came out fast with Soul Power tagging them. Wriggly Ready going fast with Addictive Dream, and they are vying for the early lead. Mashua Joe goes up to join them, followed by Joy and Fun, and then Nocturnal Affair, Asian Virgo and War Artist. Prohibit behind the pace, followed further back by Invincible Ash, and then came Soul Power. Well back is Better Be the One, and Hortensia's at the tail of the field as they race onto the course proper, past the 400 metres mark. Mashua Joe, joined by August Rush, Soul Power coming down the outside, and Joy and Fun on the inside. They're all across the track. Soul Power on the outside. Hortensia's flashing home. Hortensia coming from last. Hortensia's won the Elgo sprint. Hortensia is coming from last. Hortensia's won the Elgo sprint. Hortensia has got up to be Joy and Fun and Soul Power in a photo for the minor money. Mashua Joe just behind those from Better Be the One. August Rush, Secret Asset, Margot did, Nocturnal Affair, Invincible Ash, and last, Hortensia has won the Elgos sprint.
So that confidence not misplaced. Hortensia was off the bridle early, pulled to the wide outside, and has got up to land the spoils for Connections, who I was speaking to at the barrier draw on Thursday. They were really hoping that, they get a seam through the field, but the horse had to come wide, didn't travel early. Craig Williams, who had such a terrific 2011, has bagged another big prize early in 2012 and scored for Paul Massara. Hortensia down the...
All the way around. Last.
Here's another example. She's fantastic. She holds a special place in my heart and in my career so far. And you guys still haven't seen Black Caviar or Haley, so it's pretty exciting for Australian racing. But for me, my agent
good at 300, and I knew she'd get out wide and running room. That she'd really be hitting the line strongly late. It was whether she was going to get there in time.
She just show that much class, just that versatile, where she can overcome situations like that.
She did. She's probably a real 6 furlong horse, but up the straight here, the 5's tough enough. And we knew we'd be closing strongly late. It was whether we get there.
I've got to ask you, have you ever jumped that high after she crossed the win line?
No, I've never jumped that high. I've never lifted anyone that high either.
Royal Ascot on the date calendar?
Yeah, definitely. Kingston Stakes looks like an ideal race for her.
Congratulations here. Good luck down the line.
Mashua Joe, joined by August Rush, Soul Power coming down the outside, and Joy and Fun on the inside. They're all across the track. Soul Power on the outside. Hortensia's flashing home. Hortensia coming from last. Hortensia's won the Elgo sprint. Hortensia has got up to be...
Great acceleration at the finish. Hortensia comes over the top of them. The daughter of Testarossa wins, pays $6. I think the first price is offered here in Australia around the $15 mark. $15 into 8. Starting price at $6 to feet. Side is the horse now known as Better Be the One, used to be known as Common Interest Racing here in Australia, now with the Freedmans in Singapore. She was magnificent.
She was outstanding. We always think she's probably better at 6 furlongs, but a hot speed over 5 furlongs. I'd imagine she'd go to the King's Stand now. But look, she was awesome here. And what about I know that Paul Massara has done an unbelievable job, as you said, Mark, but what about this bloke, Craig Williams? He's ridden winners in nearly every racing major centre around the world.
Well, he was lucky to be on it, wasn't he? Darren Beeman was booked to
Exactly.
ride initially, and he's got that cheekbone injury, and now it sort of looked to be an impossible position at one stage, didn't it?
It was a soft win in the end. She's won by a length and running away, and she really picks them up quickly because she's in front with 50 to go and races away. But it's certainly, look, I love Australian racing. I'm a die-hard Australian racing. I think we've got the best racing in the world by 1,000 yards, considering how many tracks we've got to support and everything like that, and how many trainers and how many participants and how many people are involved in our sport, which I think is a greater span and a greater judgment of how good your racing is. But nothing beats seeing an Aussie horse go over there and absolutely brain it.
This is good for Australian racing, her doing that.
Of course, it brings the attention back to Australian racing. There's no doubt.
It was fantastic, and the race was set up for her because they went hell for leather out in front. She was able to sit off the back. She was last most of the way, peel out and make that one run, and Craig timed it to perfection. So great feather in their cap there, and she was
Dolphin Banner. Hortensia had to go to England anyway to come back to Australia. Couldn't come straight from Dubai back home. So goes to England, runs in the King's Stand, having had the experience there a couple of...
The $10 million Dubai World Cup sponsored by Emirates Airline, and he partners the favourite, So You Think, a horse that has a match. So the market is headed by So You Think, a short now of 6-4, Smart Falcon 13-2, Game On Dude 8-1, 10-1 for Royal Delta, 12-1, and in Australia.
He's a horse who won a Cox Plate when he actually wasn't 2 years of age. That's how good he is. 3 years of age. He was foaled in November, and he won the Cox Plate just at the end of October. So he wasn't actually, in real terms, a 3-year-old, and he won it again the next year. So that's what he means down under.
He's trained now by Aidan O'Brien, who's with to Europe.
I think there's a couple of arguments here, and one of them is that the tracks in Europe are completely different. They're different types of tests. The race
action. Oh, Smart Falcon, Zoe. One or two others on the lead. Gates fly. They're racing in the Dubai World Cup. Master of Hounds from the inside, and So You Think began quickly. Royal Delta fast away. Transcend is hard ridden. Capone on the outside, and then Zazu, Prince Bishop, and Monterosso, followed by Asian Flash. Game On Dude taken back in the field. A length away, Plan to Smart Falcon is 2 lengths away at the tail of the field. Transcend has to work. 800 metres in 49.9. There's no loafing. There's no room for squibs. Capone's moved up 3 deep. Out of the back, and Capone takes the lead. So You Think has the rail. Transcend in the middle. Game On Dude out wide, continuing to improve. Then Monterosso, Master of Hounds, Planteur, followed by Zazu, Royal Delta, Prince Bishop, Asian Flash, and Smart Falcon is the last to swing. Capone leads for home. There's room to So You Think on the rail. Monterosso third, and they broke away from Planteur. Monterosso goes up to Capone, 250 metres out. Monterosso takes the lead from Capone. Planteur's running on, but Monterosso's broken clear in the cup. 100 metres left to go. Monterosso driven out is clear of Capone. Planteur and So You Think. McHale does it again because Monterosso's won the cup. Monterosso has beaten Capone, Planteur, and So You Think. Then Zazu, Asian Flash, Master of Hounds.
Line like the Epsom Derby, but 100 yards short of the line as Monterosso, third last year, leads out a terrific victory for Mahmoud Al-Zaruni and Sheikh Mohammed.
A great win. Monterosso absolutely smashes them, defeats Capone, Planteur. So You Think solid fourth every possible.
Every possible. I never thought I'd see a jockey go up in the irons further out than Hugh Bowman did on Harris Tweed in the VRC Derby.
In Lion Tamer.
On Lion Tamer, sorry. Yeah. Harris Tweed, same colours, aren't they?
Same colours.
But same trainers and everything. Jeez, you're being picky. Next you know, you'd be tough effort too. And that was the thing. So You Think, look, it's got to be queried. I don't think Aidan O'Brien's got the best out of So You Think. He hasn't seen it as strong.
And he has won, 4 Group 1s in 9 starts now with Aidan O'Brien.
But I think they've trimmed the value off him, to tell you the truth. If he'd stayed in Australia, I reckon he'd be worth double at stud to what he is now.
Oh, no doubt.
All right, the gold.
Monterosso taking the World Cup in Dubai overnight.
Yes, and Ronnie will elaborate more on that. You've got a bit of a connection there, Ronnie, but neat track. But Ronnie, you had a little connection with the winner?
No, not really. No, I just said to you before the show, we used to race a horse called Monterosso. That's the only connection there. There's an Australian connection. I said there's an Australian connection with the winner because she's out of a mare called Porter Rocker.
The Porter Rocker, the Danny O'Brien.
Danny O'Brien, who won the Coolmore Classic.
Yes.
So a little bit of the timing there as well, where I think Sheikh Mohammed.
He'll get a fine, won't
Geez, wouldn't Ray Murray he like to get hold of him? Eh?
Certainly went up.
So the Group 1's here this afternoon on Amy Golden Slipper Day. It is the Vinery Stud Stakes for the 3-year-old fillies, and we get to see Richie Mosheen again. She's, of course, the horse has beaten the boys in a couple of Guineas races, an Oaks winner and a place getter in last year's.
Both Group 1 winners. Machine very short on the tote, forced to work throughout the race. Now they're moving up. Off Pedronate straight out the back last. Machine came out quickly, and the favourite took up the running in the early stages and leads from She Goes to Rio Aliana Till, followed by Streamer. I think most people expected up to be a little bit close early on, but he's going to be ridden a little bit further back off the speed today, settling down in fourth, followed by Thy, and then Plum back last of all is Pedronate. So the short price favourite takes him into the first bend. Machine, leading out by 2.5 lengths. In the second spot, Pedronate at the halfway mark, and Machine striding along well clear. She's the best part of 3 lengths in front as She Goes to Rio. Another 2 lengths away in third spot is Streamer, followed by Aliana Till, and then came Plumbers getting onto the back of Streamer, followed by Thy, and Pedronate back last of all. Machine trying to lead all the way. In the Vinery, she leads out here by 2 on She Goes to Rio. Streamer is third, giving the leader about 3, and Nicklick now clicked Machine up, and she strayed even further ahead. Coming to the 600, she raced away. She's 3 or 4 legs in front. She Goes to Rio second, Streamer third, and then came Aliana Till, Plum and Pedronate back last of all, but into the straight Machine, who's looking for 3 Group 1s in a row. She's about 6 lengths in front of She Goes to Rio. Streamer back in third spot, then Aliana Till, but Machine's well clear as they draw to the 200. She's in a different postcode to the rest. She's about 3 lengths on Streamer, who's trying to close in late, but Machine is well clear. She's starting to put in a few short ones, but she's got a big enough break. Oh, he sits up late. Streamer's diving, but Machine just got there. Wins it by about a long neck on Streamer, who challenged late. Aliana Till third. Then came Nye, followed in behind them by Plum, Pedronate, and last in She Goes to Rio.
Well, Machine, exciting tactics there by Danny Nickolick. She's taken out the Vinery Stud Stakes, but look at the run by Streamer. Challenging, just coming up on the inside as Machine was feeling the pressure, but she's
Watching that race, I think you were pretty happy till about the 50-metre mark.
Yeah, he probably reasoned that he had an easy run and decided to turn into a sprint home, but turned out to be a long way home.
But terrific tactics again by
Phil and a half. She just put her head down and breathed really well, and they sort of stayed off me for quite a while. And then just inside the 600, about the 550, I started to pick up the tempo like a track gallop. She got a little bit wayward up the straight. She started to spot the big semaphore board. And I really wanted to give her as easy as time as possible today. When I saw how far I was, I started to idle her down inside the last 100. And I'll be advising to Robin and Stu and Phil and the owners that if she goes home and licks out tonight, she should be going around in the Oaks or the Derby. She's met the Derby horses, a lot of them, and she's beaten them. She gets a weight relief off them. I know the prize is a lot bigger than the...
And a measly $500 for giving Machine the ease to the line. Never Luke Holland on Black Caviar, the way he throttles down. Yeah, Streamer got close, never going to win, but Machine, a confident ride by Nickolick, and she'd beaten the boys in the Australian Guineas, the Ramakin, now the girls.
I know what you're saying, Bruce, but those who laid the 7 and 4 on the 2s on at the death, I think they thought the other one was getting a bit too close.
It still won.
Well, I'd say apart from the last 50 metres, it was an absolutely brilliant ride because he took the initiative early. They ran about 2.5 seconds slower than the Tulloch Stakes over the same distance. He got away with Murder in front and won the race from the outset where he took the initiative.
Okay. Yeah, most definitely. That was the start.
It's, surely, but Machine perhaps goes to the paddock.
Away with Murder in front and won the race from the outset where he took the initiative.
Okay. Yeah, most definitely. That was the start.
It's, surely, but Machine perhaps goes to the paddock. Looking forward to seeing if she goes out. The Atlantic Jewel comes in next week to run the Sapphire. Looking forward to the.
I can't wait to see her. And she's.
It certainly was. I thought it was a great tactical ride myself. Now, not talking about what happened at the finish there.
Agreed.
Look, Benny knows that filly like the back of his hand. He knew he had suspect staying opposition there. He knew he was on an Oaks winner. He knew he was on a filly in form and a fit filly, and he got the job done.
I bet Robert Smurden.
Sort of said we weren't.
You got in mind exactly for the spring with her?
I think yesterday she showed that she's can run a fairly solid 2,000 metres. So, you know, obviously, to get a horse of that level, you'd like to think a Cox Plate program was warranted.
Yeah. And the award market is interesting. You know, there's a couple of horses that are high up in the market now that probably not going there. Artistic
Boys next week. We are up to the Tulloch Stakes here. This is race 4 on the program. It's a Group 2 race for 3-year-olds over the 2,000 metres. Some potential derby types in this race as well. And Richie, well, Singo's horse here, Strawberry
Boy is into 260 now. So very heavily backed in a half a point, 310 to 2. And a great dispatch. Strawberry Boy, the favourite, was the best out. And Compass going through along the inside as well. So the stablemate 5 for the lead. And Spectre diving through in the middle to go up and make a line of 3. Then Durnford, followed by Iggy Pop striding forward from a wide alley trying to get in. Followed by Darcy Be Good and then Benfica Rod. Now Iggy Pop got under Strawberry Boy's heels there. And Strawberry Boy through. And then a length and a half for Kindle Alliance on every level. And Polish Night back last of all. Running towards the side of the track. 900 to go. Compass led by 3. Spectre is second. Strawberry Boy third. Durnford a half away fourth. Then Iggy Pop. Followed over on the inside by Darcy Be Good. Isopac's had a tough run. Then Benfica. Followed by Satirical Boy. Rekindled Alliance next. He's still about 7 or 8 off the lead. And he's being stoked up to go forward 3 wide. Followed by on every level. At last is Polish Night. Running up towards the home turn. Compass being tackled by Spectre on the outside. Strawberry Boy striding up 3 wide from Isopac. Rekindled Alliance is coming into it strongly around the outside. He's made up a lot of ground. Coming down to the 300. Compass, Strawberry Boy, Isopac are joined by Rekindled Alliance out in the centre of the track. Darcy Be Good looking for run near the inside and then Polish Night. It's Rekindled Alliance putting his head in front from Isopac. Polish Night's the late sweeper out wide. Rekindled Alliance grabbed by Polish Night. Polish Night has got up to win it. Polish Night has won it from Rekindled Alliance. A photo for third, Isopac or Iggy Pop. And then on every level, followed by Satirical Boy.
Superb performance by this horse on his first preparation. Number 11, Polish Night for Breton Abdallah, Michael Wayne and John Costa de Lago. He's taken out the Tulloch Stakes ahead of number 5, the horse that was just drifting in the market but looked great in the yard. Rekindled Alliance in second place. Breton Abdallah, more theatrics for the camera there from Brenton. Thank you. Well, the speed was on for him and he's been able to rattle home. Good odds there too on the tote. 38.40 for the winner, Polish Night. 7.70 for the
$20,000 yearling purchase. He's been gelded, so that has made him a racehorse, and he's going to be a pretty good one. If you listen to Team Hawks, they had great confidence he'd run well yesterday.
And he was just the strongest at the finish. He does look like he'll keep going all day, doesn't he?
I backed him at sale 2 starts ago.
Well, it's most amazing. Motion goes to the paddock unless Dan's got persuasive sway over Phil, and Mr. Yashuda gets into town today. Laser Hawk, your favourite, to go and Nash again there. Obviously a lot to...
Welcome back here to Rosehill Gardens. The second of our big Group 1s here today on Amy Golden. Slipper Day is coming up. The BMW, and what a crack field we have here. Small but select field. American, well, he is just an eye catcher. A big crowd round the mounting yard rails trying to have a look at this magnificent specimen. He is now...
Market, don't they? American, he's all the way out to $2.70, and the money is well up better.
You know, he's a superior stay now to 1.5 miles. There shouldn't be too many questions at the end of the day, should there?
No, as long as Gerard gets just a nice run in transit, keeps Manigar on his sights, and hopefully he can pick him up late.
Because he... Oh, the big players have come late, according to Jerry Walsh and Sporting Bet Caroline. 270, 250, 1-800.
Manigar 280 out to $4.20. Seven Speed's been solid around the $7 mark. She's racing. American jumped fast on the outside, but he's going to drag it back. Fumicino began well. Precedent showing early speed. Southern Speed from barrier number 2 kicks up along the inside, and as joint leader as they settle down. So Southern Speed and Fumicino come up the straight the first time, and lead out from Manigar, trapped out wide on the outside of Precedence, Drunken Sailor on the rail, and then Scarlet Lady, Knee-Water, American, 3 wide out of the straight, and last of all Hawk Island. Running around the first bird. Then we've got in behind them Precedence running forward. Drunken Sailor over on the inside. He's still wide on American. He can't get in. He's 3 wide on a limb. Followed by Thanks on Manigar, dragging up behind it. And then Southern Speed on the inside. followed by Precedence American. Then Drunken Sailor, who's locked up in a pocket on the rail. Scarlet Lady in the middle, followed by Hawk Island. And Newat back last of all. He's slowing them right down on the leader. It's Firmicino in front. Managar goes up a little bit closer, about a half a length away. Southern Speed's had a beautiful run third on the rail. Then Precedence, followed by American, who's covered a stack of ground. Over on the inside there as they run down the side of the track, Drunken Sailor. Scarlet Lady hard ridden in the middle, followed by Hawk Island, Newat last. They start to sprint at the 600, Firmicino in front. Managar only ahead away. Precedence hard ridden behind them. And then Southern Speed, American given a tap with a whip, followed by Drunken Sailor. Then Hawk Island, Newat as they turn, and Managar straight up and hit the lead. It raced away from Firmicino. Then came Precedence, who's coming out after Managar. American trying to get between runners, but Managar's off and gone at the 200. He's about 3 lengths in front. Drunken Sailor ran to second, then American is plugging on, followed further back by Southern Speed, but Managar hasn't moved. He turned him around. Managar races away, and Managar beat American. Drunken Sailor third. Then Newat followed him behind them by Southern Speed. Then Precedence, Hawk Island, Firmicino, and Scarlet Lady was tailed off.
Well, he's won the treble. It hasn't been done before. Managar, the Australian Cup, the Ranvet and the BMW. He is dominating the Autumn Carnival. Managar, Luke Nolan and Peter Moody. The former...
That's what you've done with this horse. Yeah, he's loving it, isn't he? He's just a joy to have around the place. He doesn't cause us any problems. He's just a lovely horse to train, and we've just tinkered at spring beckons. Well, once again, his form might wait him out of the handicaps in the spring, and you got to wait for age race at Randwick in 3 weeks, and at Newman Cup a couple of weeks after that. And the old boss TJ wouldn't have put him in the paddock, would he?
I'm sure he'd be proud of what you've done with him anyway, Pete. Congratulations. Carolyn, what a month.
Over the length, I would say that David Hayes would be more than happy with the run anyway.
Yeah, I'd say so. Managar by Lenamix, as I said, a champion French.
Mindset, I'd imagine.
He's been able to do this old horse, Obviously, we got him second hand, but he came to us in great shape. And I think Peter Moody needs a big pat on the back today, because just what he's done with his old bloke and turning his form around, I think we've undersold it in his last 2 wins, and I really do think he deserves all the credit.
Done a great job, Wes. Extending round, all right. Managar joins the list of Mackay Deep Rock Tackle to join the BMW honour roll here off the Australian Cup. First off, to take the Ranvet amongst that treble. Pete, well done. Good morning to you.
4,000 metre races in England, wasn't he? You can't envisage now he's the same sort of horse, because he's got that zip, hasn't he?
Well, it's, when in Rome does the Romans, I'm certainly not going to plot what the English or Irish or French do, but the horses are very much pigeonholed over there, and we've said time and again for the last probably 3 decades, going back to the great C.S. Hayes when he was doing it with these horses. We give them an opportunity to show a turn of foot, where over there they're not... last night having dinner with Renwick again in 3 weeks, he won't require a lot of work, and back to 2,000 metres. And
might be a rematch with American, Rich.
What's his best distance, Pete? I really don't know. It's only been beaten at 1,800.
So, mate, it's no good.
That's his worst.
And Shane Dye, he'll be sitting there watching the show this morning. You're off the hook, Shane. No one's going to remember Viander Cross anymore. It's Jared Moose. I had him last night at dinner after. I had a chocolate mousse last night. It tasted better than his ride yesterday.
More on that. Well, Stewart's had Mosse in with David Hayes just to explain why he set 3 wide on American yesterday. Basically, Ray Murray said it was the ride didn't deserve a pass mark. Richie said it's the worst you've seen in 20 years.
I said it's the worst ride I've seen in a big race. I heard someone say it was a ride of an apprentice. I don't know any apprentice that would ride that bad. It was racing. Someone tweeted that, he's got a great record overseas. That's irrelevant. We're talking about his ride yesterday and what he did yesterday. His ride was unintelligent. He only had to ease about a half neck, and he would have been straight on the back of Scarlet Lady. He can work home from the 800 to the 1,000 when he wants to. But to say that he thought Luke Nolan was going to sit out 3 deep, haven't you seen Luke Nolan? He's one of our best riders. He was always going to work forward and sit outside the lead. For Kevin Banford and Jerry Ryan and the team, Jerry Ryan stood there, clapped the horse on the way back in. I said, I hope they clapped for the horse and not the rider, but you live and learn. Menegar's a very good horse, there's no doubt. Let's not take away from him, but the second horse, American, should have won.
Mark, anything to add there?
No, I think he's
No lucky. He got caught out just where he didn't want to be on a windy day. Didn't get cover for one stride of the race. Got hampered a bit in the straight. And just just forget the run, really. Ran a very good second. I think the winner was outstanding, and our fellow with a bit of cover might have made it a bit closer.
A very civil analysis of Gerald Mossay's ride on American from David Hayes there. Punters are far less forgiving, as are we. It was one of the worst rides you'll see from a world-class jockey.
Well, you could have put an apprentice on and got that ride. Look, the mistake was made going out of the straight the first time. I think if we can scroll back, you can probably see where I think Gerard, with hindsight, would have changed things. Here we go out of the gates. Now you can see American on the extreme outside there. And Gerald is looking across. Luke Nolan's committed to going forward inside him on Managar on the grey. And Gerald's dropped in behind Managar and thought, oh, okay, now I found a spot here. I'm not too far away. Right here, he gets up outside Scarlet Lady. All he had to do, Ronnie, was ease back half a length, and he was dropped in behind Scarlet Lady.
That's where the damage was done. He should have done that, but his eyes were for Managar, but they shouldn't have been because, the horses don't travel 3 deep. Managar wasn't going to stay 3 deep and give him cover for the whole, 2,400 metres.
No, but that's where I think Europeans get a little confused with our racing. They'll see a horse 3 deep in front of them, and they think, well, he'll probably just sit there, which in Australian racing, they never do. And you end up 3 deep facing the breeze. I know that can be done in European racing. It can't be done here for whatever reason.
I don't know if it was all about...
Scarlet Lady wouldn't have carted him into the race because she's finished 100 metres last.
But he was good enough to make his own luck from the, say, the half mile, the 1,000 metre.
Instead of doing work mid-race, he should have made a long sustained run.
Maybe he's capable of that. We know that.
I'm surprised how forgiving you are,
I'm not forgiving. It was a bad ride. But...
There might be something in that. Look, any jockey, you'd have to say, would be disappointed with that ride.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. No argument. It was a bad ride. It was a terrible ride, but...
Welcome back here to Rosehill Gardens. We've already seen sensational Group 1 racing. More is coming up. It is the English Queen of the Turf. Of course, More Joyous sponsors, of course, of the Queen of the Turf this year. There she is. More Joyous on screen. Beautiful mare. She really is for Gay Waterhouse, Nashua, John Singleton and the
go. As I said, they bet even money the other day. That did last. Got into $1.85 this morning. Crashed, bang. They put up 165. I said, well, that'll get to 175, and then they might have a bet. No, 165. Sporting Bet phones went wild, bang, 150, $1.50. Big.
Wonderful mare. 23 starts, 16 wins she's had, and she's by more than ready, we know.
SBet.mobi Sporting.
Joyous dominating the betting. Now they're moving up. Stella picks up the button. There they go. They're off and racing. And a great dispatch out of the stalls. Getting out well was Sky Rush in the early part with Jose down to the inside. There's a big clump early on. Cabernet and Of Course I Can just getting shuffled back in the early part. And now More Joyous rushed up to hit the lead. So the favourite took over and led from Red Tracer. And then Jose on the inside, followed by a Hurdle Myrtle. King's Road over. And he slows them up as they go into the first corner. Moving up on the outside, King's Rose 3 wide. More Joyous the centre. A length to Jose, followed by Hurdle Myrtle. Miss Keepsake was next, followed by Sky Rush, and then Cabernet, Of Course I Can, and Lights of Heaven back last of all. Red Tracer just the leader as they approach the 600 from King's Rose. Jose next, More Joyous is fourth, followed by Miss Keepsake and Hurdle Myrtle. It's about to edge up a little bit wide. Cabernet looking for a run in the centre, and then further back Sky Rush, Of Course I Can, and Lights of Heaven sticking to the fence. Red Tracer is the leader as they turn for home. In advance of King's Rose, and then More Joyous starting to come down the outside with a strong run. He turns a loose now. More Joyous. She rushes up and hits the lead. Took over from King's Rose and then Red Tracer. Miss Keepsake and Hurdle Myrtle are running races, but More Joyous strides away at the 100. She's too good for them. And More Joyous comes down to win it. Miss Keepsake second, King's Rose third. Then Hurdle Myrtle, followed by Cabernet, Lights of Heaven, Red Tracer, Jose, and last in was Sky Rush.
Well, that was an exhibition. Nash again just sitting up on her with us. You could see as the challenges were coming, he had plenty of horse under him. Number 1, More Joyous takes out the English Queen of the Turf. But Nashua will again.
Easy.
Well, that's how good she is. She's the best mare we have in Australasia. No, the best mare we have in New South Wales. And certainly come back with a vengeance, hasn't she?
And even the way she looks very closely to, of course, the Doncaster, and she could possibly be the best chance you've ever had of winning it again.
She is. The weights are compressed, and she's thrown into the race.
Sounds like
Thrilled to be here to watch this great mare win another Group 1. There are the English interims, $1.60 and $1.10, $10.40 Miss Keepsake, and $1.70 for King.
Sort of kids race goes. She said, "I'll get you something to follow," and probably made it more impressive in the end. She really attacked the line today. It was very impressive. You get a chance to
Then Hurdle Myrtle.
That's 17 of 24. For More Joyous, the $1.55 favourite, fifth win the race for Gay. Of course, More Joyous becoming the first to go back-to-back in this Group 1 and looking worse than ever and racing better than ever. Now she's just right in the game right now, isn't she? Right in the zone.
Yeah, look, I don't know better looking worse than ever. Singo made us roll around in the dirt yesterday and take it with mud and things like that. And yeah, no, look, she was outstanding yesterday. I was so wrapped in her. And look, someone said to me during the week that no horse has gone back to back in this race, and I said, well, if any horse can change that, it's her. She's just a champion there.
Without doubt.
Look, she was a bit down on form last year, Nash, even though she was winning races, but that acceleration was sort of really back to her best, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was. Yeah, look, she sort of carried a few little injuries there for a while, and she's really back better than ever.
With the weights in the Doncaster, Nash, she's well in this year.
To win one of those big ones, which I'd love to see.
Maybe with 57.5, but you can't help that. 57.5.
Much lower. He wants to ride her.
Yeah, exactly right. Look, she carries weight here.
Yeah.
Flex and measures and things like that. She just breaks the rule.
She's probably in light, really. The old days of the dog.
Just wasn't quite there. Whether there was a problem you were dealing with, but she's certainly come back in. Well, we're just talking off air. Maybe career best.
I think so. Well, I don't know if there's a problem in the spring. Look, they're not machines, Andrew, and Ronnie probably and Anthony know better than anyone because they've trained and ridden horses. They're just, you don't expect the same every time. We do, or from the public, but when you're dealing with them. But she's certainly come back, really strong. And look at her there. She's just the way he eased her down on the post. That's the most satisfying thing. She'll go on to the Doncaster. That's been her main mission, and then she'll probably go to the God help me.
Another race after the Doncaster. The Wait for Age 2000 at the end of the carnival.
Thank you.
We'll go with that one. Now, the track speed was the one that really got me yesterday because it was windy yesterday and it probably played a role in the way they were racing.
Oh, most definitely. It was one stage before the slipper, Dale.
She's More Joyous, back and firing like this. What do you think about the Doncaster?
Well, you can't say no. She's do we call her a champion?
I think she's a champion mare.
So do I. So do I.
She's
know what she's
the
done with that.
champion mare at the
No,
moment.
I know that.
She's Sydney's champion mare.
Each to their own. I'm calling her. I call her a champion. We can call her a Sydney champion if you like, but just her profile of being, the little ugly duckling as we call her, and she just performs and acceleration to burn. And if she can win a Doncaster with 57.5, giving all these horses so much weight, she'd have to be a champion to do it, but I wouldn't underestimate her the way she's going. She is just in the zone at the moment, and the acceleration when she put paid to him yesterday was just unbelievable.
Well, I've had a look at the
Pinker was to run in the race, and unfortunately she was lost during the week due to an incident.
That was a terrible incident. I don't know the full story of that now, but obviously, she's obviously had a reaction.
Well, yeah, she's had a reaction to a treatment that was given to her, and I believe some sort of anaphylactic shock. And basically, sadly, she just dropped dead on the end of the needle, and that's a terrible thing. And
terrible.
Look, there'll be. It's obviously insured.
So our commiserations go to the connections of Pinker, last year's Cox Plate winner.
Welcome back here to Rosehill Gardens, and we are just ahead of the Amy Golden Slipper. There it is, the magnificent trophy, the race worth $3.5 million. And so very anxious and very nervous owners, trainers, breeders, connections there in the mounting yard. The Dreyfontaine team, they've started up a chant, Dreyfontaine. So lots of theatre here. And a very...
650, Epaulet 14, race weight 15 into 12, down to the favourite Summer Ready. Got out to $3.20, back into $2.90. No
look for Gate Waterhouse, Nash Rawiller, and he fought back so well to win the Todman. He's unbeaten 3 from 3.
You can't believe a horse could win those 3 races, being the Breeders' Plate, the Sewer Slip, and the Todman, and not be favoured. He's a big horse.
She's out of a half sister to County Tyrone that won the Sydney Cup. Mick Price has done a great job with her. She is just a little professional the way she's getting around this mounting yard, Richard.
No doubt in the world. She's a star. I was there in Melbourne. She's won 4 dozen runners, but clearly the big players are now coming for the favourite, the filly. Summer Ready, to make it undefeated again, to make it 5 from 5.
Samaretti is 320 to 290. Is 270 on the toad. No looking back. Stand by for a start. In the Amy Golden Slipper. And Drafontaine made a mess of the start, came out clear last. Beginning well was Faustus with Stitzerland. Piero booting up along the fence and Ashakan going forward as well. Then no looking back, followed by Later Gator. Raceway just on the back of the speed, followed by Amarino, and then doubtfully. So the back was Epaulet and then Samaretti midfield out 3 wide. Cavalry Rose in the centre. Drafontaine trying to pick up after missing the start. And well back was Shelford as they run into the first bend. As they come up towards the 650 metre mark, followed well back by Jade Marauder, and Narcissus is last. It's Stitzerland on the inside, just in front. Led narrowly from Faustus outside of it. Ashakan made a line of 3. Piero box seat behind them, looking to run. Then no looking back, and Raceway about to hook to the outside. Then Later Gator and doubtfully, and Samaretti coming down the outside. She's still got about 4 or 5 to make up, but Stitzerland straight away. Piero is chasing it down along the inside, and then Raceway followed by Ashakan. Samaretti's making ground late. It's Piero coming up. That's Stitzerland. Piero drove through, took the lead in the slipper. Gate Hollis months ago, and Piero won it from Stitzerland and Samaretti. Then doubtfully and Drafontaine, a great run, followed by Amarino. Then Raceway, Cavalry Rose, Faustus, followed in behind them by Ashakan. Then Epaulet, no looking back. Jade Marauder, well back was Shelford, Later Gator, and Narcissus, if they haven't already called it, finished at the tail of the field.
Have to hand it to Gay Waterhouse when Piero won the Breeders' Plate back in October. She said this horse will win the Golden Slipper, and Piero has saluted for Nashua Willa, Gay Waterhouse and the team. He's hit the line there just in front of number 13, Snitzerland. What a great run by Snitzerland. And the favourite, Samaretti, no excuses. She made ground into 3rd placing. But
the Golden Slipper for you, Gay. Congratulations. The horse you said from day one would win this race, and you're right again.
Get the hat right now. Yes. Yes, I mean, he's a dominant colt. And, you know, I was amazed he wasn't favourite for the slipper. It was a fantastic finish, wasn't it? I mean, the filly shot to the front, and it just took his tenacity to sort of run her down. He's such a gutsy horse, I can't tell you.
That's it. The Magic Millions Weanling session sold by Darley to David Cobritz, $115,000. Then went through the Magic Millions yearling sale from Musk Creek Farm to Gay.
He made use of his gate today and, you know, travelled beautiful in the run and probably hit a flat spot there for 50 yards. And I wasn't panicking because I knew I still had plenty of horse once he gathered his gear up. But it's an unbelievable effort. You know, like Gay Waterhouse tipped this horse 6 months ago to win a Golden Slipper. I walked off shaking my head.
What did you think when she said that?
I walked off shaking my head, but she's a genius and.
To the Gold Coast, now looking back and drive on. Let's go back a bit further though, to October 1 last year, and Richie caught up with Gay Waterhouse after Piero made his debut at the races.
You just saw the Golden Slipper winner. This is the most outstanding. I'm telling you, you don't realise. This horse was such a babe literally after the Canterbury trials. And I put the blinkers on him and I just did a few little things with him and it just switched him on unbelievably. The improvement since his trial would be 6 lengths. Now, if he can improve that much in 10 days or 12 days, what can he do in the next 6 months? I'll turn him out now. You just look out for him in the autumn.
Well, there's not much more to say, is there? But
anyway, just keep on watching him when he comes back in the autumn. This is the Golden Slipper winner.
Well done.
Thank you.
There she is. She's always good for a statement, Gay. That's your goldenslipperwinner.com.au. Piero.
Well, Richie can scoff. I think that you cringed when you heard it, but gee, how can you doubt Gay?
You can't doubt her.
It took the lead in the slipper. Gate Hollis months ago, and Piero won it from Stitzerland and Samaretti. Then doubtfully and
the 4th Golden Slipper for Gay Waterhouse, Ha Ha Dance Hero Sebring. It's 108 Group 1s for her. Son of Lonro was peddled for 115,000 on sold for 230,000 to Greg and Donna Colivus, and it wins the richest 2-year-old prize in the world out in 35.21. So a slow first half, as you touched on, and it made it impossible for Black Marcus to get into the main play here, didn't it, Rich?
Yeah, most definitely. Corey Brown said he had a very sweet run up in front. And as I said, Nash beginning so well was the big thing. Samaretti, she didn't begin brilliantly the other day in the Riesling. She didn't begin brilliantly yesterday. And look, her run was still great. She had to wait for kind of a few slow horses for her to go around him. And with all that said about those 3 runs,
you can't. We watch the replay and you think, and I got to meet him last night. I had a drink with all the owners of Doubt Filly. This little filly from Mackay. Stuart Kendrick told a story about him walking through the tunnel the other day. He said it was the race, including the winner,
Yeah, but
and they've run fourth. And the best horse won, no doubt about that. The best horse won, no doubt.
You like to take on All Too Hard in the size and the Champagne? Wouldn't be worried about that.
Oh no, look, bring it on. I say, I was hoping he went round yesterday, but you know, at the end of the day, my bloke's done it now. He's won the richest 2-year-old race in Australia, and
His margins have been a head, a nose. The biggest margin was a length, and the short, narrow margin yesterday. He's just a winner.
he's a winner. He loves it.
Isn't he?
It's going to be an interesting race to size, isn't it? Because All Too Hard was going to start shorter than Piero. Piero's now won the Golden Slipper. What would be favoured in the size?
All Too Hard to be favoured. Only because, like, you can't believe this. As Gay said, and we've said it all week, that it won the Breeders' Plate, won the Silver Slipper of the Todman. It still didn't start favourite yesterday, and it probably won't start favourite against All Too Hard because of the hype. But I tell you what, it'll be one hell of a race. And if it becomes a dogfight, I know which plate you want to be on in a dogfight. What we've seen thus far.
Well, that's what yours.
Terrific run. She was very game in defeat. Had a perfect run up the front. She went steady for about 2 and a bit furlongs and just had it her own way. She got a little bit sort of rough last time out when she ran fourth to Summer Ready here, and I let her roll and got a rhythm good, and then I thought I was the with about 150 to go, and I thought they're going to have to be good, and I wasn't surprised to see Nash roll up on the inside of me, but it was still a good run.
She was pretty agitated in the gates today and sort of half bombed the start, and from then I was sort of always behind the 8 ball, and just got held up behind a couple of slow ones before the corner, which allowed the 2 leaders to skip away, but her run was unbelievable.
Never ridden 100-to-1 pop that travelled so well. She was so brave and she ran an excellent race, you know, a very gutsy fourth.
A very bold declaration. She declared that she had the Golden Slipper winner. And yesterday, that horse, a big burly colt called Piero, proved racing's first lady right and gave her her 4th victory in the Amy Golden Slipper. Ronnie, a tremendous performance.
It certainly was, Joe. And with 5 Group 1s on show, there was certainly many highlights. But the highlight for me was the battlers from Mackay with Doubtfully playing up 150,000 for a 200-to-1 chance in the Slipper just to have a runner in it. They got a result. They got 190 back. Good luck to them.
I thought her declaration back in October when he won the Breeders was a little bit over the top, but well,
I think a lot of people did, Joe. You know, she was proven right at the finish.
Well, for the win, you know, every race he's been in, it's been a bit of a dogfight, and he just knows how to get his head in front, and you can tell he responds to me. Like, you know, I know he's only won by narrow margins, but every time I've asked him to get there in a race, he's found that bit more for me, and you know, you sort of you dream about what happened yesterday, and
of a horse they trained years ago, Dance Hero, and aimed for the Triple Crown. But Ron, there may be a pretty good horse in the way of that All Too Hard.
Yeah, look, I heard Nash say there that he hasn't anything to prove. Well, if he backs up next week, he's got something to prove that he's the best, you know, he's the superior colt because he's going to meet All Too Hard. And that could make the Randwick Carnival, just that clash alone. You know, you've got the unbeaten Slipper winner against the unbeaten Bloom horse who's been protected for this race. That'll be a very, very interesting race.
Yeah, indeed. And I thought the effort of Sama Reddy was still very good. There were reasons for that, and perhaps if we talk to some of the jockeys, we'll find out. I think there was a gap between about the 800-metre mark and the corner where traffic started to go backwards, and she got dragged back with it and really put her out of the race.
Yeah, she was slow away, and Craig did say after the race it was probably her best run of her career.
Well, look, I think when they did slow up at that speed mid-race, that it affected the back markers, and she had too much to do from the turn on when they sprinted. You saw Snitzerland lead up, Piero find her back, they rested together, they sprinted together, and the others had too much to do. It was simple as that.
There's always perspectives there, Ron.
Looking after a Golden Slipper winner. As I said, the Ryder Stakes is the final Group 1 on the program here this afternoon. There's a bit of a cool breeze has just started to come up here at Rosehill Gardens. And, well, Richie Niagara, he is backing up, and it's tougher at the weights for him, but he's still around about $4 at this stage.
He was off the map when he won last start, and he's off it again.
Here last week to wait for age. But it's been a good betting rate. They're 850 to 650. Rangy Rang Do 8 into 6. Secret Admirer 11 into 9. But Niagara 5 to 380. He's got back out to 460 late, but there was a set to go. They're off. And Love Cockers all broke well in the centre. So did Niagara, who's hunted forward in the early stages. King Mufasa rushing up into third. And then Rangy Rangdu just on the back of the speed from Monton. Secret Admirer up reasonably close, followed by He's Remarkable. Then Hugel on the inside. Sincero trapped wide from that bad alley. And then going up on the rail, Albert the Fat, followed by, in that group is Rekindled Interest. And then Centennial Park, Metal Bender, Dan Lee. Happy Zero well back from Rock Classic. And last of all is Wirram. They settled down at the end of 500. And the Kiwi King Mufasa led by a half. Niagara came across to settle down second. He looks to be out a little bit wide. Love Cockers all third. And then Monton followed by Rangy Rangdu, who sits on the back of Niagara 3 wide. Then the Secret Admirer and Hugel, followed by He's Remarkable. Further back was Albert the Fat, Rekindled Interest in the centre. And then further back, Sincero, Metal Bender. Well back was Dan Lee, Centennial Park, Rock Classic, Happy Zero, and Wirram last. Coming for home in the leader, King Mufasa, just led from Monton going up on the rail. Niagara give it a cut with the whip on the outside. Love Cockers all probes for a run in the centre. And Rangy Rangdu's about to join in on the outside. King Mufasa led at the 300. Rangy Rangdu sprints up on the outside. And these two go toe-to-toe. King Mufasa and Rangy Rangdu. Sincero and Secret Admirer starting to run on Lakewood with Kindle Idris. Metal Bender along the rail. King Mufasa, Metal Bender, grabbed them and won it, I think. Rekindled Interest jumped out of the ground late. It's either Metal Bender or Rekindled Interest who put a big lunge on the line. Photo for the others. We got King Mufasa with Secret Admirer and Rangy Rangdu. Then Monton, followed by Love Cockers all, Hugel, then Happy Zero, Centennial Park, Albert the Fat, and then Sincero. Niagara dropped out of it, followed by Dan Lee, He's Remarkable, and Rock Classic was last in.
Well, was it Metal Bender on the inside? It was Metal Bender is the winner for Chris Waller. He's beaten home. Look at Rekindled Interest, the run on the outside. Michael Ron on Metal Bender was just pushing the horse's head down as low as it could go, and he's had the result there. You can see
Your old star, Rangy Rangdu, look to have the race won, and then Metal Bender. It's all over the shop. Take us through your emotion of the race.
I don't start with Bruce, but it's just an amazing performance. To get these old horses back, it's not easy. And it's a big effort for a horse off a long time.
It is. I mean, when he came to you with a Group 1, and you can always...
the theatre, because so much does go into these horses. I know a lady that has this horse sometimes out pretty much in the front garden of her house when he's spelling. He's a real favourite of anyone that has anything.
My horse, trainer and jockey. Well done, Michael.
Yeah, I just sort of kept to the script the last time. One of the connections said that he really enjoys horses being on his outside, and I was back in a pretty ordinary spot, but the pace was on, and then I could see things were happening. You know, it was really opening up for me. I had Albert the Fat moving forward and Secret Admirer really going into the race, and they opened up the gaps, and then I could see Hugel sort of dropping off on the fence, and well, that's where I want to be. And yeah, it was just green lights everywhere he went, and he's really strong the last 100 metres, and that's where he's, you know, at his best, and he's able to have a clear run there, and he got there.
The margin there.
Great day, and yeah, so to have war horses like that to train is it's something you can't describe. They just keep turning up, and regardless of injuries, how severe they may be, how many they've got, they don't lose that will to win.
I think war horse is the right word for those horses, aren't they? I mean, do you enjoy the challenge of working with those horses and keep them at competitive top level?
I certainly do, and that's why you see probably an emotional side of me on the races, because you don't know how they're going until race day. You're basically keeping them in cotton wool and not overextending them. And Metal Bender first up, we had no idea how well he was going, and he just charged home to run third behind More Joyous, not beaten that far, and then came and improved again from that. So you guys see as much as I do, and it's very satisfying when you get the result.
Rekindled Interest jumped out of the ground.
Didn't know where to look. Mark got it bang on. Well done to Mark Sheehan there yesterday, but we'll show you what happens to Michael Rod here. It shows you that you don't need to whip sometimes. Great race to watch from our point of view. I suppose you thought clearly outstanding race. Somebody group, I think we touched on this yesterday too, Rich, that the prize money for this race needs to be looked at in the scheme
Most
of the
definitely.
day. This race now with Metal Bender and your team from yesterday, how they all pulled up.
Pulled up well at this stage, and just have a good long hard think about things tomorrow, and there's some nice races for each of them, and I think at this stage I'd be looking at Metal Bender, either the Doncaster or the Queen Elizabeth. I thought Queen Elizabeth was the original plan. I'm not thinking he'd be as sharp as he was, so
There is $14 in the Doncaster. So the punters here, Rangy Rangdu, would he go, Doncaster?
Yeah, we're trying to get there. Obviously, having won the race before, I spoke to Neville Morgan, and he's keen to go back there again.
What sort of way to be a top three I'd like he was, and to come back 3 seasons later and still win a Group 1 race after all that drama.
Like him entering it.
Medal Bender, he had a long absence from racing. He bled and he bowed a tendon. It's been a long road back to the Group 1 winner's circle.
What a race that was. What a race that was. But Metal Bender, he led right up to his big first up run. We know he's one of our best weight for age horses, but he's come back from a bleeding attack, tendon injuries, and to come back and run the 2 races that he's done, being a Group 1 winner after his second up after well over a year off. It's a marvellous achievement from horse and trainer. There's no doubt about it. Much better run from Rekindled Alliance. Rekindled Interest, I should say. Up in distance certainly suited him. Look, there was 7 or 8 chances across the track here with 200 to go. You couldn't pick the winner from anywhere.
Ronnie, it was the best race of the autumn so far.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And it may be the best race of the autumn altogether, because these are our best, 1,500-metre horses, sprinter milers, and they all came together in a weight for age event on a very fair track yesterday. It seemed fair across the board. And we had a blanket finish of some of our top horses, and I think that will probably go down as the race of the autumn.
He could well do. Like it's hard to read. Like it's hard to read coming out of the race what you want to be on next time, because you can make a case for 5 or 6 other horses. Like Secret Admirer was good, and King Mufasa showed his usual fight Sincero's back on track. So I think a lot of people would have left that race comfortable or connections with their horses' performances.
The question is,